and Sports in Kansas. The only statewide high school pregame show in Kansas starts now.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Week 7 of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. Along with Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com and Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas, I'm your host, Sean Boston, and it is a pleasure to have you along as we prepare you for Week 7 across the Sunflower State. A lot to get to in tonight's show. In our first segment, we'll talk about some breakout performances and surprising teams through the first 6 weeks. Then in our second segment, we'll take a look at the rankings from Class 6A down. And in our final segment, we'll look at some of the top games across the state here in Week 7. That's all coming up on tonight's Kansas Kickoff Show. All right, Matt, let's bring you in first on tonight's program. What are some things that stood out to you in Week 6 last Friday night?
Well, some big games and some really good games. And it seems like the later we get in the year, we've got some big-time matchups either to decide district play or to decide seeding in the large classifications. And you look at last week, Lawrence, number 1 in 6A, holds off Aquinas, who was number 1 in 5A at the time, 39-27, a game that they took advantage of a couple of early miscues by the Saints and led that one 20-0 before holding off the Saints in that one. So a good win for Lawrence. Maize South rallies to win the Battle of Maize. Maize rallies to beat Maize South, 42-38. In that one, Maize South had the lead late in Maize. The Eagles score with less than a minute to go. And then Cheney and Holcomb was an outstanding game out west. Cheney wins that one 31-28 in a key district matchup there. And then, I'm sure we'll mention it on the show a lot of times, but Lake and Farmers' performance for Halstead against Heston, a key victory for Halstead to potentially get them into the playoffs and get that 4th spot out of that district. But he rushes for 533 yards in that game, and they needed every bit of it in that 48-34 win. But just an outstanding performance by him, and a lot of big games this week as well. We've got a great slate to talk about this week, and not just these 6 or 7 that we're going to mention later, but there's even more out there. A lot of key games as we get down here to crunch time in the Kansas high school football season.
All right, Chen, let's go to you. I know there's some teams that have really stood out to you that are maybe a surprise to some here in 2020.
There's a lot of surprises, specifically this year, because we don't know a lot about teams or who's been out or whatnot, and it's hard to gauge where teams are at. But we have to give a shout-out to some teams. I think Olathe East is one of those surprise teams in 6A, Blue Valley Northwest. Shawnee Mission Northwest even has been as well, even Wichita East. I think on the west side of the bracket as well, even Gardner Edgerton, who goes west, even though they're not west. We look at Class 5A, and, of course, Topeka Seaman, to me, kind of stands out. Not that Hayes is a surprise, but they've been very impressive. I think Hutchinson is one of the biggest surprises in the state at 5-1. Alec McQuan at running back. Capon, a big year as well. So a lot of teams maybe that we didn't expect to maybe be unbeaten or one loss at this point. I think Fort Scott's one of those on 4A, as is Lansing. I think that they are a bit of a surprise. We talked about how wide open that West is. 3A, Columbus has been a team. Not really a surprise that they're unbeaten, but they've been very good this year. I think Rock Creek has impressed some people as well. Wichita Collegiate, Cheney, Holcomb, teams like that. As far as when we look at Class 2A football, I think Osage City has been one of those teams. Mar Hill, even, the people thought they were going to be good, but I think maybe a little bit better than we thought. Cimarron, Thomas More Prep, teams like that. And then when we jump down to, of course, Class 1A ranks, looking at it overall, I wouldn't say there's any too big surprises outside of maybe Oakley, I think, has had an impressive start so far in Enman. And then, of course, multiple teams in the 8-man ranks, maybe Sedan, maybe that type of team there, and then Colony Crest down in 8-man Division 2. So a lot of surprise teams in the state of Kansas after 6 weeks.
All right, thanks, gentlemen. We'll take our first break of tonight's show. We'll come back and take a look at rankings from Class 6A all the way down to Class 8-man Division 2. Again, you're tuned in to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Here at American Implement, we're proud to be part of the communities we serve, and that's the reason we support local youth through scholastic activities like FFA, 4-H band, and sports. We firmly believe that the right activity can bring out the best qualities every child has to offer, and we wholeheartedly want to support and be involved with that. It's part of our responsibility as a good neighbor, and we're proud to call your community our home also.
Fall is in the air, and so is a crisp new deal at Next Tech Wireless. Loyal customers and newbies alike, trade in your tired old device, get a new phone on us. Stuck somewhere else? No worries. We'll pay off your contract so you're free to switch and free to choose your new free phone. So visit the right people with the right deals and get the best phone on the best network. It's time for something different. Next Tech Wireless. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Seatbelts Are For Everyone is a proud partner of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Seatbelts are for everyone.
When we do our safe observations at our school, almost everybody is on their phone.
A lot of students at the school and even adults always need to reply to that text or email or phone call or whatever while they're driving.
Having everybody focus on the road would be probably one of the biggest challenges we have.
I'd like to see a lot more people pay attention to what's going on.
I always do my best to pay attention. I'm not on my phone. I don't think any text message is as important as your life.
I think a lot of people are on their phone while they're driving to kind of keep up a social image when really, in the long run, it doesn't matter more than your life or the life of somebody else.
Here's farmer and landowner John Prue.
We purchased the land about 3 years ago, and there was an old farmstead on there with trees. We were going to clear the land so we could farm through it. We thought we knew where the pipe was, so we didn't call to get it located. The work on our property led to the damage of a light crude pipeline. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but it could have been much worse.
Never assume the location or depth of underground lines. Always call 811 or visit clickbeforeyoudig.com before you start work. A message from the Pipeline Operators for Ag Safety campaign.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
You try.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Welcome back to the Week 7 edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. Along with Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com and Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas, I'm your host, Sean Boston. Great to have you along here this evening as we preview Week 7 of the high school football season right here in the state of Kansas. We've taken a look at some of the top performances from 1 week ago. It's now time to take a look at our rankings in our second segment, and then in our final segment, we will take a look at some games to watch. All right, we'll start in Class 6A, and Matt, Shawnee Mission Northwest at number 5, Junction City at number 4, Olathe North at 3, Derby at 2, and Lawrence High remains at number 1 in Class 6A.
Yeah, we talked earlier about that big win for Lawrence High, beating number 1 in 5A, St. Thomas Aquinas, 39-27. An outstanding game there. Like I said, that they jumped out to a big 20-0 lead by virtue of a couple of mistakes by Aquinas, and then really just methodically held on and pulled away in that one. Devin Neal, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game for Lawrence High. Derby, they returned from a couple week off of quarantine, and they beat Campus 48-13. Campus also returning from a couple weeks off, and so Derby's got a big test this week as they go to Mays, who's ranked number 4 in Class 5A. Olathe North, they beat Shawnee Mission East 52-7. The Eagles really rolling this year. Big test this week as they travel to Lawrence to take on the top-ranked Chesty Lions. So number 1 versus number 3 again this week. Junction City in the 4 spot, they will take on Emporia this week and should be heavily favored in that one. The Blue Jays beat Topeka High 54-20 last week. And then Shawnee Mission Northwest in the 5 spot, another big game from Ty Black. They beat Shawnee Mission South 49-26 in a game that was scheduled just earlier that morning on Friday. So good flexibility ability by those two to pivot and get that game scheduled after losing their opponents. The Cougars will play host to Gardner-Edgerton this week in another big 6A showdown.
Down to 5A, Bishop Carroll at number 5. Mays coming off that big win up to number 4. St. Thomas Aquinas at number 3. Mill Valley at 2. And Wichita Northwest at number 1 in Class 5A. Chet?
Repetitive again in saying this is a deep classification. I think that there's multiple teams that can win a state title here. I really like those teams in the top 3, Aquinas, Mill Valley, and Wichita Northwest. I think they're really interchangeable, and we're going to figure out more about some teams. Aquinas plays the number 1 team, Westside in Nebraska, this week. Olathe East, of course, plays Mill Valley, who's a defending state champion, has won 3 since 2015, and Wichita Northwest will have its biggest challenge, of course, playing only Wichita-only City League teams, not private schools. And then Mays beat their rival last week, played Derby. And then on top of that, Carroll plays Bishop Miege. So we could very well have all of these teams losing here this week in Class 5A and still contend for state titles. I really think Capon and Hayes is going to figure out more against Mays South this week. And even Hutchinson and Topeka Seaman are other teams to look at in this very loaded classification in 5A.
Down to Class 4A, Lansing at number 5, McPherson at 4, Tonganoxie at 3, Paola at 2, and Bishop Miege at number 1 in Class 4A.
Yeah, Miege winners at Wamego last week, 41-14 in a game that they trailed actually after the first quarter. But a huge game from Josh Conklin on the ground for them, 260 yards rushing and 2 scores. And that's maybe an element of the Stag offense that hasn't been there thus far this year. So good to see him get a big game and see the offense roll a little bit. They'll need it this week as they host Bishop Carroll in a really intriguing game. Carroll ranked obviously number 5 in Class 5A, so a big matchup there. Paola number 2, they beat Kansas City Piper 42-16. The Panthers continue to roll along, and they'll be at Eudora this week. Tonganoxie in the 3 spot, they beat Southern Boone, Missouri 52-13 on a game played on Saturday, and a huge game again for Tyler Bowden. The outstanding senior now has 1,575 yards rushing, 23 touchdowns, as he goes for 273 yards and 7 scores in that game last week. They get a challenge this week against Shawnee Mission East, a 6A school, obviously, and those two matched up after losing their opponents. So good challenge there for Tonganoxie. McPherson in the 4 spot, they beat Buhler 18-6, and the Bullpups will be heavily favored at Mulvane this week. And then Lansing, you mentioned in the 5 spot, they hold on and win at Pittsburgh 21-20. It's interesting, Pittsburgh scores on the very last play of the game to make it 21-20, and then they get a celebration penalty. As high school kids, you can imagine, were excited to throw a touchdown pass on the last play of the game. They get a celebration penalty that backs up the point after touchdown, and that kick sails just wide right, and Lansing holds on to win 21-20. So Lansing in that 5 spot, Andover Central right on the doorstep, and a big showdown with Andover this week. So we'll see how that plays out.
And in Class 3A, Cheney coming off that win out west at number 5, southeast of Salina at number 4, Topeka Hayden at number 3, Perry Lecompton at 2, and Andale remains at number 1 in Class 3A.
This might be one of the better Andale teams, maybe even better than last year. I mean, they're by far number 1 in my opinion, but, Perry Lecompton and Topeka Hayden are those other 2 teams, and they play this week between 2 teams that are very good. Hayden just 1 loss all season. This is a rematch of twice last year. Southeast of Saline's also off to a very good year, and Cheney beat Holcomb last week 31-28, and, of course, Harrison Voth, one of the nice surprises in the state this year, but it goes much deeper than these teams. I still think that Columbus and Frontenac are very good in southeast Kansas. I mentioned Holcomb. Nobody seems to be talking about collegiate and offensive firepower of Rock Creek and Holton and the Barta Bone. A lot of good teams, including Riley County, who jumps up from 2A to 3A. Has had some nice success as well. So it maybe goes 10 deep in this Class 3A classification. Very good teams here, but Andale on top of everybody right now, in my opinion.
To Class 2A, Mar Hill at number 5, Hutch Trinity at number 4, Hoisington at number 3, Silver Lake at 2, and Rossville at number 1 in Class 2A.
Yeah, and it's War Week, right? War on 24, Rossville and Silver Lake, number 1 versus number 2, going to happen this week. That'll decide that district championship, obviously, as both of those teams have rolled through their competition. Rossville 69-6 over Pleasant Ridge last week, and Silver Lake 49-8 over McLouth. So should be an outstanding game. Number 3, Hoisington, they beat Ellsworth 37-7. They will travel to Norton this week in a rematch of last year's sub-state semifinal, won by the Blue Jays. But the Blue Jays are 0-2 in district play and have got some work to do to claw their way back into the playoff spot. Hutch Trinity in the 4th spot, another solid win, 40-7 over Sterling. They did give up a touchdown, as you can see, and that snapped their streak of 3 straight shutouts. But a challenging game at Haven this week, who's 4-2, and so we'll see how the Celtics handle that. And then number 5, Mar Hill. They had their big showdown with Nemaha Central canceled because of COVID concerns, and Mar Hill was thought to be out for a couple of weeks. But now the Ravens say that they're going to play this week. That would mean they will travel to St. Mary's in that one. But the Ravens holding on to the 5 spot, just ahead of a few really close contenders, including Nemaha Central, the defending champs, right outside the poll.
Down to Class 1A, Linden at number 5, Conway Springs at 4, Smith Center at number 3, Centralia at 2, and Opie at number 1 in Class 1A.
No really big surprises, of course, in Class 1A. I feel like it's pretty top-heavy overall. Of course, Opie against Northern Heights this week. Centralia and Linden do play in a battle of 2 ranked teams. Centralia handled Beloit last week. I think Centralia is the best team in this class, along maybe with Conway Springs, Smith Center. We don't know a lot about these teams, and we won't know a whole lot after this week, but we'll know more about Centralia. Conway Springs plays a team that hasn't won yet in Stanton County, and Smith Center plays a 2-4 El Saline squad. Other teams to look for, though, I think Inman has impressed some people. Sedgwick, still one of those teams to look at, very good offensively. Oakley, another one of those teams, and even Valley Heights losing to Centralia. So definitely top-heavy in the 28-team classification. That's shrunken over time. But the teams at the top, very good 1A high school football teams.
2 8-man Division I, Little River at number 5, Clifton Clyde at number 4, Madison at 3, Leota Wichita County at number 2, and Canton Galva remains at number 1 in Class 8-man 1.
Yeah, Canton Galva, defending champs, won their 19th consecutive game, a 50-0 shutout over Harrington. They will be big favorites as they host Solomon, who's actually 4-2, but again, Canton Galva very talented and should be favored in that game. Leota Wichita County, you mentioned, another really talented team. They won at Meade 60-14, and this is a really tough district that they're going through, and they're making it look easy. I mean, 48 points in every contest that they've played this season. They will get 4-2 Spearville this week, but the Indians again should be favored in that one as well. Madison essentially won the district championship last week as they beat Chase County, the other really quality team in that district, 60-14. Hunter Engel with 165 yards rushing. He scored 6 touchdowns in that game. Madison will take on winless Flint Hills this week and be a heavy favorite. Clifton Clyde, you mentioned, they stay in the number 4 spot despite losing to Hanover 40-20 in a game, again, that was added Friday morning last week. And so incredible to see Coach Steinbrock and the Eagles take on that challenge at the last minute. And obviously you don't have a lot of prep time, but Clifton Clyde lost to number 2 Hanover number 2 in 8-man Division 2, and Clifton Clyde's doing it again this week because they just lost their opponent, Washington County, and so they schedule Argonia Attica, a team who's literally right outside of our top 5 and who is unbeaten. So Coach Steinbrock really challenging his Eagles this year, and still number 4 in the poll. And then Little River in the number 5 spot, they beat Bennington last week by 50. The Redskins will host Harrington this week, who's just 2-4.
Our final classification, 8-man Division 2, Frankfort at number 5, Lebo at 4, Victoria at 3, Hanover at 2, and St. Francis remains at number 1 in 8-man Division 2.
Have some major contenders at the top. I think St. Francis is that team there against Wheatland Grinnell this week, an impressive 5-1 team, but I think Chadron Blanca and St. Francis just going to be too much. Defensively so good, winning last week 46-0 at Quinter. Really have had no problems so far this season. Hanover, of course, they beat Clifton Clyde last week in a game that wasn't supposed to happen, 40-20, a very good game. And Victoria beat an improved Wilson squad 50-34. Lebo, of course, got the forfeit win over Lost Springs Center. Play Rural Vista this week, and Frankfort, of course, did not play because of COVID-19. So we'll see what happens. I don't think they're playing this week either. Other teams to look at, Colony Crest, probably not a deep playoff contender, but they're a surprise 6-0 team, beating a lot of teams in Southeast Kansas. But, Axtell, Central Plains, Sylvan Lucas, and even South Central, teams like that to look at. I believe that got their game canceled. So we'll see what happens in this, but to me, it's going to be St. Francis and Hanover in that 8-man Division II state championship next month.
Again, that was our rankings from Class 6A all the way down to Class 8-man Division II. We'll step aside and come back with our final segment where we'll take a look at some of the games to watch here across the Sunflower State here in week number 7. You're tuned in to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
Welcome back to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Welcome back to the Week 7 edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas, and presented by American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. Along with Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com, Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas, I'm Sean Boston. It's a pleasure to have you along here as we get you ready for Week 7 of the high school football season. Back here in our third and final segment of tonight's program, let's take a look at some of the games to watch across the state here in Week 7. All right, Matt, let's take a look at a battle of unbeatens up in Lawrence as the Chesty Lions host Olathe North in a battle of two teams that are 5-0.
Yeah, it should be an outstanding game. These two, obviously, in the top three in the Class 6A and both, in the Sunflower League, and very familiar with one another. But it should be a great game. This one time, Lawrence hosting, and obviously the Chesty Lions passed a big test last week with that win over Aquinas. Again, a game they jumped out 20-0 in the first quarter, and then Aquinas got that within 32-27. But Lawrence does what number one teams are supposed to do, and they go on a drive to clinch it. Devin Neal, an outstanding game with 150 yards rushing. He's nearing 700 for the year, and Jackson Dooley has thrown for over 1,200 yards as well. And so their offense can be really dynamic. Obviously, they've got one of the better play callers and the better offensive minds in the state in Coach Steve Rampy. But when you've got a guy like Devin Neal, I mean, it was evident even against Aquinas last week. He was just at a different level of player than the other guys out there, and so he can be that difference maker. Olathe North has been very good on defense, though, and they've got some athletes of their own. Noah Palmer has stepped in to play quarterback this season despite his high jersey number, and he's rushed for over 650 yards, and he's also thrown the ball really efficiently as well. Jacob Parrish and Quantez Love are really capable backs as well. Quantez Love getting a lot of love at the next level as a recruit. So this should be an outstanding game. Last year we built this one up and Lawrence handled them pretty easily. So I think Olathe North is maybe here for more of a challenge this week, but I still think the Chesty Lions are the team to beat in 6A at this time.
All right, Chet, we'll go to you on this next one, a big one in the Wichita City League as Wichita East unbeaten taking on unbeaten Wichita Northwest.
Yeah, you have two offenses that really jump off the page. What do we really know about either one of these teams? We know that the schedules have not been great due to what's happened this year and not being able to play everybody. However, we do know that Wichita Northwest brought back like 10 starters on their defense. So I think they can slow down what East is doing. East has improved. They've added transfers. They got a freshman quarterback. They got a ton of speed, of course, experienced and guys that have played at a high level on the coaching staff. And, of course, Bryce Brown as an offensive coordinator. But Wichita Northwest is Wichita Northwest, and they can run it if they need to, of course, with the Bolden kid. And then, of course, you look at the quarterback play, no matter who it's been over the last whenever Martin's been there, it's been outstanding play. But they've really bumped up their defense with Mark Marinelli coming over and really have a shot, I feel like, to contend or perhaps win the state title. So it is a huge improvement by East, but I think just too much for Wichita Northwest. These teams won't be as battle-tested into the playoffs this year, unfortunately. But Wichita Northwest going to be too much in this one. But I do see a lot of points being scored.
Matt, will stick around the Wichita area as Mays, unbeaten at 6-0. They take on Derby, who's 3-1.
Yeah, big showdown in the AVCTL. Should help decide the AVCTL title. In many cases, you'd think this is it. But actually, both teams have challenging games. Derby's got a tough battle with Mays South next week, and I think Mays goes to Hutch. So as that league has really picked up the pace this year, there's some challenging games left on the schedule. Obviously, we mentioned Derby just getting back after a couple-week quarantine. We'll see how they respond against the tougher competition this week. As Lem Wash and Dylan Edwards are just really dynamic players in their backfield, and they're doing it more on the ground this year. Wash nearing 500 yards rushing, 8 touchdowns. Edwards 650 yards already on just 78 carries. So they're both very explosive. Derby's an offense that's going to get going. They just need more time playing, and the next couple of weeks will be a big challenge for them. Obviously, Mays coming in, that big dramatic win last week over Mays South, 42-38. literally a game that went back and forth in the fourth quarter, including a pair of ensuing kickoff returns for touchdowns. Josh Sanders has had a huge year after transferring over from Wichita Heights. He's nearing 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. And then Avery Johnson's been, a capable passer as well. Maybe not the likes of they've had in the last couple of years with Caleb Grill and the like, but he's been able to do the job, and Sanders has been excellent out of the backfield. So I think this is going to be a really good game. It's going to come down to who can get stops. It's always tough to pick against Derby, but these two teams, this should be a really close game.
All right, Chet, big one up in Roland Park as Bishop Carroll and Bishop Miege meet on the gridiron for the first time since the 2012 5A state championship game.
Two state powers going at it. I know records are deceiving here. Of course, Carroll can compete for a 5A state title, and of course, Miege is going to compete for their 7th consecutive. Outstanding quarterback play with Needens of Carroll and Dorsey, of course, out of Bishop Miege, two of the top signal callers in Kansas head-to-head. Who will come out on top? I think Mac Muller, one of the biggest weapons in the state that a lot of people don't know about, the hybrid tight end receiver. Is this one of those Miege teams like we've seen over the last 6 years? Not quite, but they're still very much capable of winning the entire state title. Maybe they're not that best team, obviously, in Kansas this year, or maybe outside of that top 5 this year overall in Kansas, but and that's all classes. But I think this is going to be an outstanding game. I think Miege will be favored in this game, being that it's at home, but it's going to be a coin flip style of matchup, and two outstanding football teams and two outstanding coached football teams this Friday night in Roland Park.
All right, Chet, let's stick with you. Unbeaten Perry-Lecompton travels to Topeka to take on Topeka-Hayden.
Perry-Lecompton and Hayden, this is the showdown from last year. Everybody's looking at this game. Many may be favoring Hayden due to the fact their defense has played outstanding, and Lecompton, of course, lost their quarterback. But they've not dropped off. They have so much speed on this team. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. Thad Metcalf leading that unit. And I talk about speed. Their speed is all over the field defensively as well. And, of course, Hayden Robb at the linebacker position and guys that are really locked down, whether that's corner, safety, linebackers that can fly to the football, a big physical defensive line led by the Urban kid. They have size. They have some speed. And offensively, they're very good. And, I don't know where to go to this one. I think it's a coin flip game. You're going to have to stop Desmond Purnell. I feel like he's one of the really most underrated players in Kansas and will compete for 3A Player of the Year this year offensively. But very good on both sides. This is a very good Topeka-Hayden team that made a run last year and lost to Perry. But these are two of the 3 best teams, I feel like, at this point in 3A. And I think it could go either way. Hayden, though, at home, so maybe that'll factor in to Friday night's matchup.
And that will do it for this week's edition of the Kansas Kickoff Show. Again, I want to thank Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com and Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas, and our great sponsors, American Implement, Next Tech Wireless, and The Safe Project. For Matt Gilmore of kpreps.com, Chet Copeland of Sports in Kansas, I'm Sean Boston saying so long and enjoy Week 7 of the high school football season right here in the Sunflower State. You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show.
You've been listening to the Kansas Kickoff Show, powered by kpreps.com and Sports in Kansas.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Salthawks football pregame show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salthawks football pregame show.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gowans Stadium. It's so good to be back home. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado. And Dan, it's a beautiful night to be home for football.
It's a great night for football.
There that is, and campus comes to town tonight. Is here at Gowans Stadium. Limited number of seats that are available due to COVID-19, but at least some of the parents are going to get to see their kids play football. So the Board of Education changed the gating policy for orange and red, and here we are right now. It's a limited number of folks here, but the number of folks from both coming over from campus as well as here from Hutch High, ready for some football tonight.
It's my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, there are no walk-up tickets being sold.
That is
tonight.
correct. No walk-ups. You can watch from the fence lines outside the facility, but we'll have the game for you here on BW Radio, as well as also on the stream for BW Radio and on the video stream for BW Radio. Just go to hutchpost.com. So if you want to watch the game and listen as well. So pretty important game. Hutchinson bounced back. Let's talk about that South game real quick. Salina South was the opponent last Friday night. Hutchinson trailed at halftime, 17-14, came away with a nice victory, 42-17, really put them on in the second half and extended the lead once they got the lead and really, really played well.
It was a tale of two halves, that's for sure, because Salina South scored that field goal right at the end of the first half to take a 17-14 lead last Friday night. But then it was all Hutchinson in the second half. The game ended up 42-17. So if my math is correct, that means Hutchinson outscored Salina South 28-0 in the second half.
And they did a good job with that. We passed with Alec McEwen passing the 1,000-yard mark for the season. He had 250 yards the other night with 19 carries, and his 183-yard touchdown sounded like this. The give straight away running, wide open. Here's McEwen, has some room. He's up to the 40, to the 50, down to the 40, 30. They're not going to catch him. See you later. Touchdown, Alec McEwen from way downtown. He took it all the way from the 17-yard line, marking him up for 83 big ones. And what a run by McEwen that was, Dan, as he just took it straight up the middle. You said right before the highlight roll there to look out for Kokar, but what happened is he just took it right over the right side, and once he got about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, there was nobody going to catch him.
That's right. Kokar lined up in a formation that typically indicates rocket tossed or maybe even a pass to Kokar, but the Salthawks were pretty sneaky. They just put Kokar out there in that position and then handed the ball to McEwen to run between the tackles, which he does so well.
And Coach talked about and sang his praises on the postgame as well. He's pretty special. He's done a heck of a job this year, and he's taken that offense out of that fullback position and just really rolled with it. And that 83-yarder, nobody was going to catch him.
No, Alec McEwen, you're exactly right. He's averaging about as close to 8 yards a carry as you can get if you take it out to the fraction. And he has 1,043 yards in just 6 games, and he only got to play about, what would you guess, maybe a quarter of the game at Garden City because of the leg cramps.
I think he had 59 yards in that game, and with leg cramps kept going out. But somebody picks you up. That's what this team's all about. I think when somebody's not playing very well, you got Barlow and you got Kokar that can pick them up. You got Peterson can catch passes. Thompson can run out of that option slot out of the quarterback position, and you got guys that can pick up the team. And I think the team was refocused against Salina South, which after the loss to Andover the week before that. And we're setting pretty good, headed into getting close to the playoffs. A lot of things will come in, and we'll talk more about this deeper into the pregame and probably also with our pregame that we'll have from Gowans. But things are starting to clear up a little bit with the playoff situation coming out of this weekend. After the night's games all across the Ark Valley League and across the state of Kansas, we'll know a little bit more where it looks like we're going to fall.
On the west side of 5A, Mays remains undefeated. Hayes remains undefeated. And if I remember right, there was one other team, Wichita Northwest.
Yeah, Wichita Northwest.
Better not forget about Wichita Northwest.
And they remain undefeated. We're in the state rankings right now in 5A by way of going off the winning percentage is what they base it off of. We're setting it at the number 5 slot. That could change. It was supposed to be Mays South playing Hayes, but we understand there's some problems possibly with the Hayes team, whether or not they'll be able to put a team on the field. So that game might not take place.
And actually, we were, for a lot of reasons, hoping that game would happen just because we like good high school football, and that would be a matchup that would be a very intriguing matchup. But also, it would help Hutchinson potentially in the seeding. for the postseason for those two teams to play.
Exactly, that would be. And so anyway, looking down there, the possible opponents, Goddard, Eisenhower's jumping out there. Looks like they could be a possible playoff opponent. Don't want to get too far ahead of us. We want to talk about this game. And also keeping Mark Carmel's down there as well. And there's some other games that things could happen.
You know, as it turned out, keep an eye on Andover. That's a better football team than maybe what a lot of people thought going into the week when Hutchinson played them. Andover is now 4-2, and that running back Max Middleton gained 263 yards on Friday night against Valley Center.
So his yards against us was not a fluke. He's a good-looking running back. So we'll just have to see what's happened. But Campus is the opponent tonight, and they're coming in at 1-3. They've had 2 games that had to be canceled. That has hurt them a little bit, and but they were able to play Derby this last week and got walloped pretty good by Derby. But there's a team that Coach Vernon's a little concerned about their offense. We'll talk more about that when we get up to that part. So we're going to take a quick break, come back and get set to talk about the 2 different teams on the field tonight, the Hutch High Salthawks and the Campus Colts. We'll be back right after this.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back. And again, Campus coming to Gowans Stadium tonight. Campus, a team that a couple years ago they came in and got their first playoff win against the Salthawks. That was a couple years ago, but they had a tough year last year. But they're capable of putting a good game together. I look at those rankings, and like Newton's 0-6. Well, we know how good Newton can be, so that's probably the best 0-6 team in the state of Kansas right now is Newton. And with this Campus team, you can't let the 1-3 record deceive you.
That's right, Campus. It's kind of hard to believe that school has been around since 1963, did not ever get a postseason football win until October 27, 2017, against Hutchinson, as it turned out, to end Hutchinson's season in 2017. And Coach Slade was the head coach there for quite a number of years. He left and went to the northeast part of Kansas and is associated with the high school football program in the Kansas City area now. Jamie Cruz is a pretty good friend of Mike Vernon's. Mm-hmm. They've interacted a lot. They both run the Flexbone offense. They go to a lot of clinics where they're both hanging out together. And there's a tremendous amount of respect between Mike Vernon and Jamie Cruz.
Well, and Jamie Cruz coached at Pratt, which the Greenbacks in 2016 won the 4A division title. They also lost in 2018, 3A state championship game, Gowans Stadium in overtime to Sabetha, 43-42. So he's familiar with Coach Vernon because they basically, Pratt and Nickerson at the time was in the same league. So you're exactly right. He's taken over the Campus Colts, and Campus again in 2017 was in playoff action, and they beat Hutchinson that year 27-21. They also last year, like I said, had a tough year at 1-8. The year before that, they were 6-4. So they're capable. And Mike even said at lunch earlier this week that he's a little worried about the offense, that they have some athletes that can do some things.
And they do run a power offense. It's very similar to Hutchinson's. Again, both teams run the flex bone. Coach Cruz has a few things he does a little bit different from the way Hutchinson. I think pretty much every coach puts their own mark on an offense and does things just slightly different from other schools. For example, at Campus, every now and then they'll pull the guard and run a little bit of a trap play. Sometimes they'll pull the guard and lead and get an extra blocker on that side of the field. So they'll do things a little bit different than Hutchinson, but the formation looks almost identical. Campus does have the personnel to have a tight end, so they almost always have a tight end on the field, and sometimes they'll even go with 2 tight ends and really go with a power running formation.
They opened the season at Salina Central, and they won over Salina Central 37-32 to open the season at 1-0. Then they lost to Mays 41-14, lost to at Salina South 55-35, which was the opponent just last week for the Salthawks. Then they had 2 games canceled. They were supposed to be at Mays South. That one canceled due to a COVID-19 breakout at Campus High. Same way with the Andover game. That was canceled the same way. That's why we ended up playing Andover that week. We were supposed to play Derby, and Andover was supposed to take on Campus. And then they played Derby this last week, lost 48-13, and that puts them at 1-3.
I watched that game on film, and Campus gave Derby everything Derby could handle in that first quarter, especially. Campus drove the ball the length of the field, went in and scored, and that Campus offense was clicking on all cylinders, just grinding out about 5 or 6 yards of play against Derby. When you can do that against Derby, you do gain some respect.
Defensively, while they run primarily?
Pretty much the same type of defense that you'll see out of Hutchinson. They'll typically have 4 defensive linemen, and then they'll have 2 linebackers on the interior and 2 linebackers on the outside part of the field, and they'll usually have 3 defensive backs. Their defense is primarily built to stop the run game, which is what Hutchinson wants to do.
And that's exactly what Hutchinson wants to do, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. And when you look at the 2 offenses, I'm referring to Salina South as well as Campus. Coach kind of said they're pretty similar.
Salina South went from shotgun to pistol type formation, but they're starting out from a different formation, but the net result of the play is pretty similar when they run the ball. The biggest difference is Salina South threw the ball a lot more than you'll see Campus throw the ball.
So more likely the percentage you think Campus will throw the ball, and we'll talk about that in the keys to the game.
I would doubt that Campus will throw the ball more than 1 out of every 3 or 4 plays.
All right, well, we'll find out in a little bit. We're going to take another break, come back for those keys to the game. Stan Nacarado deep in his pocket and gets set to give us the keys of both Campus and Hutchinson to see who comes out victorious tonight. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Kansas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Oh, you can hear those keys a-jingling and the keys to the game with Dan Nacarado. And Coach Nack, what do you think? What does Hutchinson have to do to stop a potent Campus offense?
That offense is one that Hutchinson is very familiar with because it's so similar to the offense that the Salthawks run. You have to be sound on assignments. Anytime you're facing a team that will run an option play, somebody's got to be assigned to the fullback to tackle them, somebody is assigned to the quarterback, and someone is assigned to the back that might be there to take a pitch. So everybody's got to be sound. You have to make sure your defensive linemen are not driven backwards into the linebackers, because the way the Hutchinson defense is designed, the linebackers are probably going to make the tackles almost every play, or at least be in on a tackle. If you allow a defensive lineman to be driven backwards, then that creates too much traffic for the linebacker to get to the ball to make the tackle.
And we'll see what happens there. What about that Hutchinson offense? What do they got to do? I'm looking at the Colts give up 44 points per game on an average, while they score 24.8. So that 44 points, can Hutchinson reach that 44-point mark?
It is possible. Campus is a little bit more formidable offensively than they are defensively. Now, I say that. Watch tonight will end up being a 7-6 game or something like that. But I would expect to see Hutchinson put in the 40s on the scoreboard tonight, but we'll see what happens.
That should be a lot of fun to see what's going to take place. Anything specifically? We're pretty healthy right now. We lost Phillips, and we talked about that last week, and that's a big loss defensively for Hutchinson. But Mr. Young's going to have to step in and do the job, and a couple other players are going to have to do the job. Carter
Young is probably a little bit more of a natural linebacker, but he's very capable whether he plays linebacker or on the defensive line. Hutchinson does not have very much depth at that defensive line position since Gabe Phillips is not available to play. So you want to keep those defensive linemen healthy and hope that everything goes their way.
I think we're going to have a lot of grandparents tuning in tonight. The last few games, it's been a lot of fun to hear comments or see comments on Facebook, as well as also, of course, hear from different fans. But I know we got some grandmothers that are going to be in attendance tonight because they opened up with the COVID-19 the 2 tickets per participant. So there'll be some folks that'll be get into the contest. And maybe all those tickets won't be used. You sometimes have some kids that their grandparents or parents don't come to the game, but we'll have it for them on the stream. But we've got a nice following of grandparents in Oklahoma, down in Texas, down in southwest Kansas. We're starting to get the group of grannies and grandpas that are watching the games.
Love to have them with us. And in case any of Isaiah Phillips' family members might be listening, I apologize for misspeaking and calling him Gabe Phillips. I coached another player named Gabe Phillips. And sometimes
that's all right.
The mind doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But it's Isaiah Phillips, and we hope he has a lot of relatives listening in tonight, even though Isaiah is not available to play.
Exactly. Pretty important this ball game. For more so maybe for Hutchinson than Campus. Campus sitting at 1-3, although they could make a move right there, but they could be put a spoiler on Hutchinson with a win tonight. Hutchinson needs to march on, sitting right now at 5-1, trying to we'll have a winning season guaranteed for the first time in a few years. So, but be nice to hang another W on the board and get set for that last game against Mays next week.
I still have that tweet pinned at the top of my page from September 3rd, pretty much guaranteeing to people that the Hutchinson Salthawks will win more games than they will lose.
And they already have. You're so true on that. So looking forward to that. But don't you agree that it is more important to Hutchinson probably?
I think so. Campus is in 6A. Hutchinson is in 5A. Campus is probably not going to be in the hunt to host a playoff game, no matter how you slice it. And again, Jamie Cruz is getting himself established. This is just his second year at Campus, and they are in a building mode where Hutchinson kind of went through that the last couple of years and now has things where Mike Vernon really wants them to be, and that coaching staff, and they've got tremendous buy-in from the players working hard in the weight room, getting bigger and stronger. And now you're starting to see some dividends being paid from the investment that all the players and coaches put into the program the last couple of years.
Hutchinson's had a tendency to fall behind in some of these ball games that they've came out and got W's on. Last year in this game, Hutch jumped on top 14-0 in the game, and that was really was the difference in the ball game. You turn around, they run the flex bone, and they got a young man at fullback by the name of Jackson Bradley. We'll probably be calling his name a lot. Who else's name will we call on the Campus side of the ball?
Well, they actually start 5 different players on offense and defense, but I think that you're going to be calling the quarterback's name frequently tonight, Glenn. That is Jay Braylon. He's a 5'10", 150-pound junior. He's not especially big, but he is the spark plug to get everything started offensively for that offense. Rico Tayton is a pretty impressive wide receiver. He's 6'4", 187 pounds. When Campus does go to the air, that's who they will be looking for. And also a young man named Chris Martin. And I said Rico Tayton. I got it backwards. It's actually Tayton Rico. And the quarterback is actually Braylon J. I got those. When these guys have two first names, I get confused.
It makes
sometimes.
it a little bit tough. So, well, we're about set to get ready. Sarah's up here ready with the video, and we hope to have Joe Blake on the sidelines. He had a grandmother that passed away up in Minnesota, and he attended the funeral yesterday. He assured me he's going to try to make it. So, if not, we'll do fine without him. So, anyway, we'll get set for football action. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Let's get this action going.
You betcha. We'll be back with the kickoff coming your way right after this.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salthawk Football Pregame Show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salthawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball. Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Kansas learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. There's so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's time for Hutchinson Salthawk Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, and the Medicine Shop. Salthawk Sports is also brought to you by these Salthawk Boosters, Jackson Meat, Wynn Insurance Group, and Summit Surgical of Hutchinson. Sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meat and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host for Salthawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gowans Stadium. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peters on the video tonight, and so glad to have you along. We're without Joe Blake this evening because of the fact that you might have heard on the pregame, he had a grandmother pass away up in Minnesota. It was the funeral was yesterday, but of course, they have family functions and stuff. We totally understand. We appreciate Joe trying to make an effort, but our thoughts and sympathy go out to the Blake family with the loss of a patriarch in the family, Joe's grandmother.
Joe, we're thinking of you and your entire family.
It's going to be a good night for football, Dan.
I would say it's a great night for football. Fall is in the air. It's football weather for sure tonight.
No doubt about that. It is football weather tonight, and we're getting really close to being able to see what is all going on here before too long with this ball game. Let's talk about this matchup. We just talked a lot about Campus, but they're a pretty good club, or they can be a pretty good club.
You know, in the first quarter against Derby last week, Campus gave Derby everything that they could handle. They took the opening kick and drove right down the field and scored a touchdown to start off that game. And it wasn't on big fluke plays or anything like that. It was just running the flexbone offense, grinding out 5, 6, 8 yards at a time, eating up clock and putting points on the board. So they are a team that you definitely don't want to overlook. There are no gimmies in this league.
I'll tell you what, the weather conditions, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful fall than we had. This is going to be one of the coolest night starts with a 61-degree game time temperature. The low's going to get to 50 tonight, but the winds are only going to be about out of the south about 5 miles per hour. So it just about is a perfect night for football.
Blowing a little bit harder than that right now, but I think those winds will die down once the game gets started. And again, no walk-up tickets sold at the gate tonight.
Exactly.
So make yourself comfortable, tune in, and enjoy the broadcast.
2 per participant. Now listen, if you're watching, if you're listening on the radio right now, want to go to the stream, just go to hutchpost.com, and you can go to the sports page and pick up the stream right there. We've got it up and running already, and also you can listen on Alexa if you wish to, on the BW app, which is wonderful because you go to the menu, you can hit down to sports and click on it, and you can watch this game live from your smartphone if you wish to. We have some special visitors tonight with us, Dan. Normally on the stream, we have a grandmother down in Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville.
That listens all the time. Now listen, last week we had 60 comments on Facebook Sophie Hill had 45 of those comments.
Well, Grandma Sophie, come on now. Get some other people in Pflugerville listening in.
So
spread the love.
This is a hello to Sophie Hill from Devin Hackney, who is her grandson, who wears number 38 for the Salthawks, defensive back for the Salthawks. Does a great job, and he keeps coming and getting better and better, and I think it has a lot to do with Sophie Hill cheering him on from a long distance away.
You know, with or without relatives, the truth of the matter is he is the best open field tackler I have seen this season.
He really is. Does a good job. So welcome, Sophie, to Hutchinson. We're glad that you are here, and I'm sure that Devin's going to have a heck of a game, and looking forward to you being here to cheer him on in person. No doubt about that. Now, we have a lot of other grandparents as well. I know that we have Matt Seitz's grandparents down in Texas, down at Georgetown as well. We have Noah Kokar's grandmother and grandfather down in Oklahoma City that always say hello. So get on Facebook if you wish and say hello to us, and we'll be glad to acknowledge whose grandkids are playing football for the Salthawks.
We love the good folks of Texas and the great folks of Oklahoma.
The team from campus is now out on the sidelines already. They're dressed out in their white uniforms. We're waiting for Hutchinson to take to the field here in a little bit. Again, Isaiah Phillips, we talked about him not being in the lineup due to the injury, and he's the only one we're really losing tonight of any he's the only one that we're not. This has really been a clean year for injuries. That's what I'm trying to say.
Full strength with the exception of Isaiah Phillips. The Salthawks were without Mason Weathers in that defensive backfield or outside linebacker position last week due to concussion protocol, but he's back and available tonight. So let's hope everybody stays healthy on both teams throughout the rest of the season.
You know, no doubt about that. Still waiting for the Salthawks to make their way out here. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. Gives Dan and I a chance to stretch and get set for this exciting game tonight between the Salthawks, who are 5-1, the 1-3 campus Colts. And it's a very important game to set up the rest of the season, which was only one more home game in the regular season. We'll take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
The No Fair sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Welcome back to Gowans Stadium. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, and Sarah Peterson. Again, game time temperature right around 60 degrees. Again, Joe Blake's usually on the sideline, sponsored by Jackson Meat, as well as Papa John's Pizza. Salthawks have broken through the cheerleading banner, and they come out on the field, and we're about to set for some football. They'll be having the captain's meet at the center of the field to check and see who's going to win the toss tonight's ball game. Again, they usually do that with just one captain. They've shut that down from normally you have 3, maybe 4 going out there down because of social distancing. And people really acknowledge and keep your masks on. If you're listening in the stands, please keep your masks on. If you're in your groups, even when you're in your groups, because we got to beat this thing. We have really been hit this hard this last week, Dan, with the COVID-19 breakout here in Reno County. As a matter of fact, we were the 3rd fastest city in the nation. And we're trying to keep that from happening. Now we're moving up to number 2. Wow.
Unfortunately, a lot of positive tests have come through the last couple of weeks, but we remain perpetually optimistic.
Salthawks is the referee down there right now.
Jack Hoover will handle the flip duties for Hutchinson, and for campus, it's Nathan Bowen.
I think campus might have won it. That's one of the first time in a couple of weeks that the coin toss did not go to Salthawks' way. Hutchinson will be receiving. They're going to defer to the second half. Salthawks will be receiving. They'll defend the north goal and be going left or right on your video screen, or if you're watching from the stands, the left to right, from the north to the south. So we're about set to get underway. So glad to have Stuart Haddad along as the chief engineer tonight. Big Stu back at the BW studios. Appreciate all his hard work. He's not out chasing the storms. He's also helps out with Sedgwick County with their maintenance department over there. Does a great job of keeping everybody safe. He's also EMT and a little bit of everything else. Stuart's a good guy. Does a great job on the board.
Remember last year, that last basketball game Hutchinson played at campus?
Push him into. He was up there, joined us.
Got to have him join us up in the broadcast.
I forgot about that. That's right. So glad to have him along as always.
Had a night off, and he still joined us. That was pretty good of him.
Deep back to receive for the Salthawks will be Peterson. That'll be Trayton Peterson's. Had some nice returns. And also Noah Kokar, who continues just to have big plays in each and every game. And so glad to see him back there as well. Nukas to be one of the up-backs for Hutchinson as well.
I think Nolan Cunningham is the other one. All four of those players are very good return people. So really, if you can't kick it into the end zone, pretty much anywhere you go with the football, somebody capable is going to field it for the Salthawks.
Alec Inahos will kick off for campus. He is a senior, 6 foot, 150. Let's see him put the toe into it. And here we go. We are underway. Squib kicks going to be picked up by Kokar as he picks it up about the 8-yard line. He turns to his right side to the 20, the 25, cuts to the 30. Now he's up to the 35 and stretches his long body all the way up to the 37-yard line. They'll mark it at the 36.5. 1st and 10 for the Salthawks.
Devin Utu made a nice tackle for campus from behind. Otherwise, Kokar might have taken it the distance.
Said the knee hit at the 36, so Hutchinson will set up 1st and 10 from the 36. We have had some nice returns this year from the return squad on special teams. Hutchinson will put wideouts on the left side. Kokar, along with Peterson over there. The turn, the give, this time on the outside. Turning is going to be Blackwell, and carries it all the way up to the 40. A pickup of 4 yards on the carry. It will be a 2nd down and 6 for Hutch High. Salthawks with a nice run right there. Into the ball game comes Zach Hogan. He checks in.
That first play from scrimmage, Jalen Barlow lined up at fullback, Alec McEwen in the right slot. Now they've switched positions for this play.
Yeah, now McEwen at the fullback slot. On the right slot is Barlow. The give straight away is McEwen. He busts forward all the way up to the 50-yard line, down to the 49 of campus. And it is, give me 18 inches in the cloud of smoke right there for McEwen.
Watching campus on film, their defense has given up a lot of yards just on standard run plays all season long. And Hutchinson is definitely going to try to take advantage of that.
1st and 10 Salthawks on the 49 of campus. Taking his time is Thompson. Wants to throw it, gets it out to Peterson. He'll hook to the right side, over to the 40, and up and down. That is to the 39-yard line. Nice job by Trayton Peterson on the catch and carry for a few yards. Pickup of about 8 to 9 on the play. 2nd down and 1. Nice job by Trayton Peterson on the catch over there. Thompson kind of keeping them honest there, Dan, with a little flare pattern outside to Peterson. If you show it early, sometimes it opens some things up from that run game. To give the flitch on the outside is going to be Kokar on the edge. He is out of bounds, pushed out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. It'll be enough for the 1st down.
That Salthawk offense looks very sharp on this first drive.
Jonathan McFan, one of the tackles out there, wears number 64. He's a senior. Chase Kepler at that guard position. Cooper Doobie at the center position. Seitz and Ragoza on that left side.
4 juniors and a senior.
The give to McEwen again. He'll go over Ragoza, and he's stacked up. Little or no gain on the play. Maybe even a loss of a half a yard. Let's check the spot. It'll be a 2nd down and 10 call.
Got to give all the credit in the world to that front 5 of Hutchinson.
Man.
They've been so consistent, firing off the ball low and hard, getting their assignments consistently.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Coach Vernon, when we meet with him for lunch each Wednesday, he always talks about that offensive line and how proud he is of them this year. Thompson under center, sends a man in motion. That's Barlow. The keep on the outside. Here's Kokar. He's at the 30, 25, 20. Down the sidelines he goes. Steps out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark it right around the 13. So 1st and 10, Hutch. And Hutchinson taking it to the outside of the pitch and being very effective on an option play, Dan.
They have just been workmanlike on this first drive. Exactly 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. Campus Colts visiting Hutchinson Salthawks.
Thompson, the quarterback. Turn to give this time again to McEwen. Pick up of about a yard and a half on the play. They'll be 2nd down and about 9.
We talked about that front 5 blocking so well. Also out of the backfield, Barlow, Hogan, Blackwell have done a very impressive job of lead blocking for their teammates.
I think campus is so afraid of McEwen's prowess in the middle that it's really opening up those outside edges, because they're stacking it with a 4-man front. Keep by Thompson. Options to the right side inside the 10-yard line down to about the 9. Will be a pickup of 4. It'll be a 3rd down and 6.
This is where the yards are a little harder to come by because the defense does not have to cover as much territory once the ball gets down there inside the 10-yard line.
Just underway, 9:07 to go in this first quarter of play. No score as of yet. Hutchinson's driven it all the way down to the 9. Facing a 3rd down and 6 call. Thompson, the quarterback, sends a man in motion. The pitch on the outside of Kokar. He'll try left side this time. Loses the football, bounces away, and I think a campus player has it. And Hutchinson coughs it up. It'll be campus football at their own 14-yard line.
That's the 7th lost fumble for the Salthawks this season.
I saw that happen. As Kokar starts to cut inside, the campus defender got a hand on the football, and it was loose, and a turnover against Hutchinson. So now at the 15, campus will set up shop. They'll have the ball for the first time tonight.
The campus Colts got deep penetration into the backfield and just messed up that rocket toss play.
And a flag thrown, and it lands on one of the campus's players. And now they're going to come force, so an infraction. Center picked up the ball, so it's a 5-yard penalty, illegal procedure.
The official's microphone sounds a little bit like a UFO here at Gowans Stadium tonight.
Got a little echo to it. So the quarterback is Braden Jay.
Not that I've ever heard a UFO.
Braden Jay, the quarterback. They'll run the flex bone as well. To give straight away, nothing gained on the play. Looked like it was Corbin Williams on the carry.
Jack Hopper met him immediately. Just had nowhere to go.
So Hopper defensively has been playing well this season.
Hopper came up with 13 tackles last week at Salina South. That's a lot of tackles.
So Jay's the quarterback. Again, they'll set up with that flex bone. Turn to pitch on the outside. To the left side, they'll take it. Some room to run at the 20 to the 25 up to about the 30-yard line. That's going to be Williams on the carry. It's good enough for the first down.
Well executed rocket toss. Corbin Williams, one of those 5 players for campus who starts both ways.
When you and I chatted with Coach Vernon, he was a little fearful of this offense. He says they've got some talented position players, and Williams shows that he's one of them right there. Ball's up at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 now for the campus Colts. No score as of yet. 8:07 to go in this first quarter of play.
Campus has a little bit more blocking up front because they go with tight ends.
Jay, the turn again to Williams. He stumbles and falls down after pickup, short pickup on the play. Coming up to get a hold of him was David Waymeyer. Gain of about a yard on the play, 2nd down and 9.
Waymeyer, another one of those defensive players for Hutchinson who's been just so reliable all season.
Dan, when you play the flex bone and you see a team with the flex bone, things got to be pretty familiar to you from practice.
It's almost like the blue-gold scrimmage, except Hutchinson doesn't use any tight ends this season. They go exclusively with 2 wideouts.
There's movement straight away running again up the middle as Williams.
So that's the only difference really between the 2 teams on offense.
Actually a different face out there for carrying the ball. That was Buckles. Buckles, a sophomore running back, got up out of the pile. Where's number 26 for the campus Colts? Colts a couple years ago came in, and about 3 to be exact, right around the same time, and shocked Hutchinson 27-21, and that was in a playoff game.
Campus actually beat Hutchinson twice that year.
Yep, sure did.
I think they played almost back-to-back weeks.
I think so. 3rd down and 5. Key 3rd down play right now for the Colts of campus. Man in motion, keeping his J. He'll flip it on the outside and trying to get the first down. He'll have it all the way up the way goes Seacard. Seacard all the way down to the 10-5. Touchdown campus Colts. No flag on the play. And the Colts are the first on the board tonight with a 6-0 lead.
63-yard touchdown run by Christian Seacard.
Number 3, Christian Seacard. He's a sophomore. And he took it the distance after he got the pitch, happening at the 6:41 mark of the first quarter of play.
It always hurts when a team turns the ball over inside their opponent's 20 and misses a scoring opportunity. It adds salt on the wound when that opponent immediately drives all the way down the field for a touchdown.
Inhouse will do the point after, getting his steps correctly. Late entry into the line of scrimmage on special teams for campus. Now we get set. Here's the point after try. The hold is there. It's up to good, and it is good. 7-0 your score. Campus with the early lead. 6:41 to go in quarter number 1. We'll wait to campus kickoff right after this timeout.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
6:41 to go. A long touchdown run, 63 yards by Seacard, the young sophomore running back. I think it was the first time he touched the football tonight for the Colts, and he took it a distance. And it's 7-0 Colts on top. We're used to this, Dan. Hutchinson's been behind many, many times this year, and now the defense is busily working to make some adjustments.
Can't quite figure it out, but Hutchinson has been outscored now in the first quarter of games this season, 45-21.
Yeah, they've been very strong in the second quarter of play, no doubt about that.
Very unusual statistic for a team that's 5-1.
Hinojosa is a left-footed kicker, and here it comes. It's up and on its way. Got some air on that one, and Kokar is going to bring it out. He caught it right, and then he decided it was a touchback, so it will come out as a touchback, and that's probably the wise thing to do.
Once the receiver breaks that goal line, the officials automatically call it dead in high school football. But, have you noticed how many kickers are left-footed?
Yeah, we have a bunch. We have one of our own.
I think more than half of the kickers that we've seen this season are lefties.
Again, who I'm referring to.
And also Alejandro Martinez, who handles some duties.
All right, the quarterback again here is Thompson. He'll keep it. Option, kicks it outside of Kokar and up to the 25-yard line. Kokar hanging on to the football there. Pick up a 5 on the play. 2nd down and 5.
Solid tackle by Barrett Rhodes. 6 foot, 208 pounds senior linebacker. Rhodes is spelled R-O-A-D-S, no H.
They line up 2nd down and 5 again. Thompson. The football giveaway running down to McEwen. He's got some room and is out across the 30 up to the 35. 1st down, 10 yards for McEwen.
McEwen looked like a man on a mission on that carry.
He hits the hole so hard. Now, the first few carries tonight didn't have that much success, but right there was a nice example of what he has done all season long.
Can't bring him down with an arm tackle. Usually takes 2 or 3 defensive players to bring him down, and they have to make solid contact.
So Hutch is set up now. 1st down and 10 to go. Here's a keep by Thompson. Wants to throw it across the middle. Just about picked off and just about caught by Kokar at the 40. Goes off his fingertips out of bounds.
Nearly picked off by the Colts. Incomplete pass, 2nd down 10.
Got a message from Carter Booz. Nana and Papa are watching at home for the first time due to COVID restrictions. It's glad to have them along this evening. And again, we have those Kokar's grandparents from Southwest Kansas watching as well.
Carter Booz, something like 34 out of 36 on extra point attempts during his career.
Here's the turn, giveaway straight away on the outside. McEwen trying to get something going and can't get anything going. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation.
That was Corbin Williams making the tackle. Corbin Williams, again, double duty, running back and linebacker for Campus. Coming down to 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Campus Colts lead Hutchinson 7-0.
Hutchinson regrouping a little bit. They'll huddle up. Now they got to be quick with the call because there's 18 on the play clock. They break huddle. Doobie brings them up to the line of scrimmage. They'll split wideouts on left and right side.
Had some confusion on the defensive line.
Thompson wants to throw again. Goes across, goes long. He has Peterson out there. He's going to adjust for the throw. Gets it. He catches it at the 30 and crawls his way to the 26-yard line. Nice job by Thompson to get the ball, and he aired it out. It was a little short, Dan, and Peterson had a way to make an adjustment, but that worked out good for him as he made the catch.
That's a 38-yard pass completion, and that ball was pretty much in the air the entire way. Miles Thompson with an excellent throw. Trey Peterson making a great adjustment while the ball was in flight.
Exactly. 1st and 10, Hutch from the 26 of Campus. Man of motions, Kokar. Oh, give it off the belly series around to Blackwell. He's got some edge on the edge down to the 20-15, all the way down to the 10-yard line. 1st and 10, Hutch. They'll move the chains, and Hutchinson will have it deep inside Campus territory.
This is where ball security becomes so important.
Don't mark it at the 11.
You definitely want to take advantage of this field position on the Campus 11-yard line and convert it to points.
Nice job by Hutchinson to take it all the way to the 11. The long pass to Peterson got part of the way there. Now split wideouts. Peterson will split out left side along with Zach Hogan. Turn to get to McEwen straight away. Dives his way all the way down to the 6, keeping those feet churning all the way till they'll mark it at the 7 officially. 2nd down and about 6.
Strong running. There wasn't really much of an opening there at all. McEwen just dragged the Campus Colts for a few yards.
Yeah, he went in between Kepler and Doobie on that carry. Now they'll stack it up defensively. Thompson, the quarterback, sends Blackwell in motion. Keeps it himself. Thompson on the outside. Has the edge and walks in for the touchdown. Touchdown to Hutchinson with 3:12 to go in his first quarter of play. Within a point of Campus now. Campus 7, Hutch 6.
That was the option. Miles Thompson made an excellent read, kept the ball himself, and I don't think he was touched en route to the end zone.
Nice job. I don't think so either. Nice 7-yard pickup on the TD for Thompson. 13-7. Let's check that. 7-6 now. Hutchinson trailing by 1. Carter Booz. Kick is up and on its way, and it is good. We're tied at 7 apiece. Boo for 1 right there. Gets it up and in. And we'll take a timeout. We'll come back for the Hutch kickoff. 3:12 to go in quarter number 1. We're tied at 7 apiece. We'll be right back.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Hutchinson took it in for the touchdown. Nice touchdown by Thompson.
If you're wondering why Hutchinson has gone to no tight ends on their offense, it's just strictly a personnel issue. Some years, if you've got the players available to you to go with a power formation with the tight end, you do it. Other years, you spread out the defense a little bit more. I want to wish a quick happy birthday to Gabby Garcia. I hope you're listening. Gabby, one of my favorite power couples in Hutchinson.
Awesome.
Jeremy Garcia coaches the defensive backs for the Salthawks, and Gabby Garcia.
Here comes the kickoff from Hutchinson. It's going to carry all the way down to about the 17-yard line. It's going to be returned right there. And little or no gain, actually, right about the 21.
Broke a couple of tackles, and then Kinzer Newquist came in and said, "That's enough of that. Let's stop right there."
So Campus, who got a big 63-yard scamper by Sicard for a score just a few minutes ago, with 3:03 now, will take over. We're tied to 7 apiece. They'll have the ball at their own 22-yard line.
Important for that Salthawk defense to snap back now and get a stop.
All right, here we go.
Why don't you guys do something?
Setting up defensively is Hutchinson. They'll send a man in motion. And the keeper straight away running. Campus takes it right up the middle for a pickup of a couple yards on the play. Again, it's going to be Williams on the carry, which it normally is. So second down, and they'll say 9. Ball's going to be right at the 23. 2:40 to go in his first quarter of play. Campus with a scattering of people over on the east side. Again, the participants were given 2 tickets apiece to hand out how they wanted to. Pitch on the outside. Trying to turn the corner on the left side there, and carrying it was going to be Dorton, and he's hit after maybe a yard and a half gain.
Mason Weathers, Ben Patterson, a couple other Salthawks there to make the stop.
So, key third down and long call coming up.
As we said in the pregame, Campus could not play 2 of their scheduled games earlier this season due to the pandemic. And looking at their sideline, it appears to me like they have not brought as many players as you typically would.
We'll give you some scores updates here in a little bit. We're keeping our eye specifically on the Mays score. Derby with a 7-6 lead right now on Mays. Back to pass is Jay, airs it out, throws it long, catch is made. They're going to whistle. The catch is made at about the 39-yard line of Hutchinson.
36-yard pass completion. Excellent pass.
To Rico.
Yeah, we talked about Rico in the pregame. He's impressive. 6'4", 187-pound senior.
Maddox had him covered, but
it was good.
Maddox Hennehaw, Mad Dog Hennehaw had him covered, but it was a great pass over the shoulder.
It was good coverage. We always say a perfect pass beats perfect coverage.
1st and 10 now from the Hutch 40. The pitch on the outside. They're going to give it to Dorton again. Dorton trying to turn the corner on the outside. Has some room, but then he's wrapped up after only about a 3-yard gain over on that far side. Nice job coming up. There's Ben Patterson. And also Waymeyer's over there to help out.
Mason Weathers out there as well.
Weathers as well. 2nd down and 7 is going to be the call. Nose of the football right at the Hutchinson 37-yard line. 1:02 to go in his first quarter of play. We're tied at 7. Colts 1-3, deceptive record coming in. Coach Vernon said he was a little worried about this offense, and they showed it and showed us why. Split a wide out left side. Turn to give again to the same running back as Dorton, and he's going to be sacked up and pushed backwards. Gain of actually a loss on the play of about a yard.
When you look at that 1-3 Campus record, remember that includes losses to Mays and Derby.
Exactly. That's the deceptive part of it. Very good football teams in 5A this year. 3rd down and 8, Dan, at the 38-yard line. They went outside a couple times with success, but also Williams can carry it inside as well. Jay, the quarterback, they split out a wide out on that left side. That is Rico. Send a man in motion. Wants to throw it. Looks and goes long. He has Rico down there. Catch is incomplete. Off his fingertips right at the goal line.
Yeah, that time Tate Rico got behind the Salthawk defense, and the ball was just a little bit overthrown.
That'll end the first quarter of play. We'll go to the second quarter of action. 7-7 tie. We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post morning news in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Here we go, start of the second quarter of action. 7-7 tie. Campus with the football, fourth down. They're going to go for it. Fourth and about 9. And now a timeout is taken. Campus Colts will take a timeout. We're going to keep it here, Dan, since we just took a break. I'll run down some scores. I gave you that Derby score, 7-0. Over 7-6, over Mays. Right now, Trinity on top of Heston, 7-0. McPherson, 28-0 already in the end of the first quarter over Mulvane. Garden Plain leading 7-3 over Belle Plaine. The battle of the plains right there. And Andover Central, 7-0 over Andover. And Hoisenden, 6-0 over Norton already in the first quarter of play. So there's some scores from across the state of Kansas. Junction City also on top of your old hometown, Emporia, 14-0.
Yeah, Junction City has an impressive record, and Emporia has struggled in several games this year. But the games in the AVCTL of special interest outside of this one, Derby and Mays, Mays South, and Hayes.
Yeah, Mays South and Hayes, and we weren't sure they were going to get that Hayes one underway, but I think they are. Here's Jay, back to pass again, throws it to the outside. Not there, incomplete pass. I think they would have been short of the first down anyway. Trying to go for Rico over there, but Rico was going far enough for the first down, but the pass did not get there. Hutch will take over on downs. So the Salthawks did their job defensively.
In that first quarter, each team, 129 yards of total offense. And the score is tied 7-7.
Pretty even ball game. Peterson split wide on the left side. They'll have a slot over there. Will be Kokar split off the line of scrimmage. Also Hogan. The turn to get to McEwen. He's stacked up. Little or no gain. Maybe even a loss on the play. They're going to say maybe got a half of a yard gain. So second down along 9. They'll mark it at the 39. Well, they're going to say, hey, when 28, he's going to get the ball 19 to 20 times a game to 25 times a game. You guys got to stop him. And that's what Campus is doing with those linebackers. That was a nice play by the defensive front as well as one of the linebackers out of that micro linebacker position. Turn to keep by Thompson. Heads upfield. He's got some room up to the 50-yard line, still on his feet. Now he's brought down. Has the first down. 1st and 10, Hutch at the Hutchinson 49-yard line.
He took a jab step towards the pitch man, kept the ball, then faked the pitch again and kept it. Pretty nifty work by Miles Thompson.
He's learning that option. Keep in mind, he's just a quarterback for the first time this year as he went down that line of scrimmage, and that option is so read-worthy. You got to read what's going on, and in a split second decide whether or not you're going to pitch the ball or not. Give to McEwen, has some room across the 45-yard line down to about the 43-yard line of Campus. They'll mark it officially at the 42. Second down and 1.
It's been very impressive how fast Miles Thompson figured out this flexbone
really
offense.
Has. He has done a nice job. And Hutchinson gets the play in from the sidelines now. They'll look at their wrists. They simplified things a lot this year, and I think that's helped, especially on the blocking schemes. They really has helped out with the Salthawks, keeping it pretty simple.
There's not a better O-line coach in the state of Kansas than Sean Harper.
Back to pass. Thompson has pocket protection, gives the pass away. He's got a receiver out there just off the fingertips of Kokar. They had coverage out there, but incomplete pass. Just under 10 minutes to go. 9:59 to go. And we'll see how Kokar is going to be. He looked like he might have came up.
I think that was Blackwell.
Yeah, it was Blackwell, excuse me.
A little slow getting up, but he's going to be fine.
So split out wideouts to the right side and left this time. Barlow has slipped over to the left side slot.
Opportunity for a quarterback sneak.
3rd down and short. Man in motion, Barlow. Turn around and keep by Thompson. He's got the first down and more. 40, down to the 30, down to the 25, and dropped finally at the 23-yard line of campus.
Or he could keep it and go off tackle. That works fine also.
9:51 remaining to go in this first half of play. A nice drive by Hutchinson underway right now to the 23-yard line.
Well, if Hutchinson is going to make me look like an accurate prognosticator, they're going to have to put quite a few points on the board in a short amount of time.
Yeah, me too. 7-7 tie right now with 9:33 to go. Of course, in the first half of play last week, they only had 14 at halftime.
That's right.
Hung 42 on the board, 28 unanswered points in the second half.
That's right.
Man of motion, Kokar. To keep the pitch this time is going to be to McEwen. He's got some room on the outside across the 20 all the way down to the 15, 14-yard line. Keeps those legs churning away and within a yard of the first down. Nice pickup by Alec McEwen. They'll mark it at the 14-yard line, 2nd down and 1.
Just get the feeling that if Hutchinson maintains ball security, they are not going to have to punt very many times in this game.
Wildcats of Haven on top of Trinity Catholic, 14-0 at the end of the first quarter of play.
Trinity undefeated so far.
Salina South 14, Newton nothing at the end of first quarter of play. Hutchinson here tied at 7 to give again to McEwen all the way down to the 5-yard line. Went head-to-head with one of the defenders down there. And it'll be a 1st and 10 for Hutchinson, 1st and goal from the 5. Making the stop out there was Tommy Randa. He's a sophomore. Tell you what, this campus team pretty young, especially a couple running backs right there. Randa, a sophomore. Nothing better than some of those sophomores to get some action in the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League.
Coach Jamie Cruz, when he arrived at campus, he knew it was he would have to go with some young players for a year or two.
Here's Thompson under center. The give this time left side. It's going to be Blackwell into the end zone for the touchdown, and Blackwell takes it in from 5 yards out with 8:03 to go in this first half of play. Hutchinson goes on top now, 13-7. Blackwell on a 5-yard romp into the end zone. Makes it 13-7 Hutchinson. Blues extra point forthcoming. Here's the hold, the kick. It's on its way. It's up, and it is good. And 14-7 now. Hutchinson takes the lead at 8:03 to go in this first half of play. We're in the second quarter. Dan and Sarah and I'll be back for the Hutchinson kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Welcome back. Hutch with the lead at 14-7. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson. Missing Joe Blake tonight. He's usually on the sidelines. The sideline reports are brought to you by Jackson Meat, 13 West 6th, as well as Papa John's Pizza at the corner of Plum and 17th. Both fine sponsors of Salt Hawk Athletics. You listen to Salt Hawk football on KWBW, Hutchinson, Kansas. So Hutchinson with a 5-yard run by Blackwell. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's Anthony's first touchdown of the year. Here comes the kick. It's going to be taken at about the 16-yard line by Campus. They'll run it straight up the middle, and carrying it forward is going to be Rico. And gets it up to about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Campus Colts from their own 33.
You are correct, Glenn. That is Anthony's first touchdown of the 2020 season.
What a great season it has been. 5-1 coming into this ball game. Turnaround. And we were talking about the Kansas pregame show we played on the stream earlier, and they talked about one of the biggest surprises in the state of Kansas was Hutch High football this year.
Surprises a lot of people. I think folks that had watched them in practice expected the Salthawks to be pretty good this year.
1st and 10 for Campus. Straight away running. He's got some room all the way up to the 45-yard line and beyond, up to the 46 on a quick opener by Williams.
Devin Hackney and Mason Weathers in on the stop, along with help from Nolan Cunningham downfield.
Actually, it was Buckles, again, one of those fine sophomores on the carry. I stand corrected. 1st and 10 now for Campus Colts.
Buckles would be a good name for a rodeo athlete.
That would be. Imagine there's been one. What do you want to bet?
Probably so.
Like a Rusty Buckle or something like that. 1st and 10 now. Campus Colts with the ball. They're moving the football. They fake the pitch. Wants to go long. They go long on play action. He's got a receiver out there. Catch is made and dropped finally by Hennehaw all the way to the 10-yard line. And a hurt player is going to be on the catch and the carry was Rico, but he's rolling over in pain right now. Might have turned an ankle.
I do think he turned an ankle as Maddox Hennehaw made the tackle. But we hope he's going to be fine. But gotta say again, that was an excellent throw and catch.
It was an excellent throw and catch, and he acts like it's his left either knee or ankle. And they've yet to roll him over, and we'll have to check and see how he's going to be. But what a pass that was all the way down to the 10. And Campus with 7:16 to go is in good shape right now as they trail it by 7 to Hutch High. But that was a great throw by Jay, right on the money as Rico gathered it in. Maddox was out there in good coverage, made the tackle, Maddox Hennehaw. And by the time he brought him down, it was all the way for a 1st and 10 at the 10. But now they're coming out to a 10, and they are attending to Rico. And now he's setting up as the training staff takes a look at him. I want to remind everybody, freshman football will not go to campus on Monday because we're in the red zone within Reno County. They've extended that into the red zone, and what it does, Dan, only varsity competition. So no JV volleyball, no JV football, no freshman football, no freshman volleyball, none of those sports that have not a varsity, but JV or freshman are going to be able to compete this next week. Now, it's possible to be able to go to Mays if we come out of the red.
That's an unfortunate situation. It's tough to stop and start again this late in the season. And while we're on the topic, on behalf of all Salthawk football fans, thanks so much to you and Sarah Peterson and Jalen Barlow for showing the freshman JV games the last couple of weeks.
We had a lot of viewers on that. Now, Rico's okay. He's coming up on his own power, but he is limping a little bit. I don't know if we're going to see him back in action or not. That'll be a big loss. A big target for Jay out there is Rico.
Yeah, he's an important part of that Colts offense.
He is a senior, 6'4", 187. So 1st and 10 now for Campus. Those are the football right at the 10-yard line, so essentially 1st and goal. Jay, the quarterback, sends a man in motion, hands it off, straight away running, nothing there. Maybe a pickup of half a yard on the play. Good defense by Hutchinson on the inside, led by Waymeyer.
With Tate and Rico off the field, look for Campus to almost exclusively run the football.
Just about run.
Or throw short passes.
Got Buckles back in there at that running back.
Tate and Rico is definitely the deep threat that Campus possess.
So Williams will go to one of the slots on the right side. Buckles will be the fullback in this flexbone offense. They'll split a wide out on the right side. Send a man in motion. They'll pitch it now back to Buckles. Buckles trying to turn it at the 10. Has some room, but only knocked out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Nice defense by Hutchinson to pursue. And pursue quickly. Coming up to close was Hauber, doing a good job of getting to the ball carrier.
With the ball on the right hash mark on the 8-yard line, this is where I would look for Campus to run the rocket toss to the left to Corbin Williams. Corbin Williams with that 63-yard touchdown run with 8:49 to go in the first quarter on the Rocket House.
3rd and goal from the 8. Let's see if you're correct or not. See if Hutchinson fakes that way a little bit. There you go. They want to throw the football. It's going to be Jay going airborne, incomplete pass.
Went with a bootleg, which is
they say touchdown.
Yeah.
They say he caught it. Well, I thought it skipped to him.
Excellent call. Coach Jamie Cruz, got to give him credit. The bootleg had all of the Salthawk defense going to the right as the offense looks at it. And quarterback bootleg to his left.
He threw it to number 5, and we had a number change before. And who was wearing number 5 was Hinojosa, the kicker, and he wears number 31 now. So, Dan, you'll have to help me on who number 5 is for campus. Maybe we'll find out. So right now it's a 14-13 ball game. Here comes the kick up and on its way, and we are tied at 14. So with 6:19 to go in the second quarter of play, we're in the first half of play. It is Hutchinson 14 and Campus 14. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Hutchinson. 14-14 tie with 6:19 to go in this first half of play. We're in the second quarter. Again, a nice 8-yard pass from Jay to his wideout. The wideout came in place of Rico after Rico went out with the injury. Tied it up at 14 apiece. Hutchinson's in a battle right now. Hinojosa will kick it away to the Salthawks. Here comes the kick. High end-over-end kick. Going to be taken at the 22 by Hutchinson's Peterson, and he's going to be dropped right at the 25-yard line. Not much of a return at all by Peterson to the 25. So Hutch will have time, though, with 6:14 to go in this first half of play to get something going. Right now they're tied up at 14 apiece.
That bootleg touchdown pass was caught by number 5. He was listed in our program as number 24, Jacob Reimer.
So Reimer with the catch for the touchdown. 1st and 10 now for Hutchinson. Trying to answer back. Plenty of time to do it before halftime. Especially the way Hutchinson runs the football. Hogan will split wide on the left side. Peterson on the top side. McEwen at the fullback spot. Man of motion's Kokar. The pitch on the outside. McEwen trying to turn the edge. He has it. 30. Up to the 35. To the 40. Up to the 50-yard line. Flag on the play. Cuts inside. All the way down to the 32-yard line of Campus. Let's see if it's coming back, and I think it is.
It's going to be a hold against Hutchinson. And that is unfortunate because it was a huge gain from Alec McEwen, who got the edge. But the reason he got the edge was because of the hold on the block.
Yeah, 25 to 26-yard pickup right there will be erased. It'll come back, and it'll be first down, do it over again, and see where they're going to mark the football exactly. If it's from the point of the infraction.
It's going to come all the way back to the 15.
Blocking the back is what they actually called. This will be a 10-yard foul. Penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll bill it all the way back to about the 15-yard line. 1st and 20 now for Hutch. I say run it again.
Just gives that Salthawk offense more opportunities to churn out yards.
There you go. Mr. Sunshine has spoken. Man of motion, Barlow. To keep by Thompson on the outside edge. Cuts inside. All the way to the 30 now. Cuts inside again. Now he goes the opposite way. 40 to the 45. Up to the 50. 45. 40. Cuts inside again. This time to the right side. He's dropped right at the 34-yard line. A great pickup by Miles Thompson.
I'm doing the math. I've got 35 plus 10 is 45 plus 6 is 51 yards.
My goodness, what a run by Thompson.
And one of the players lost his shoe. I think that was the center who lost his shoe.
It is. It's Doobie, and he's trying to get it on. Looks like he's wearing slippers out there just about. 1st and 10 from the 34 campus. 5:29 to go in the first half. McEwen up the middle. Churns his way all the way to the 24-yard line. Big-time pickup, and I think they might move the chains on that. It's good for 10, I believe. Let's see what they mark it. Nope, they mark it out to 25. So a 9.5-yard pickup.
Finer points of playing defense. After the quarterback runs 51 yards in a serpentine style, he's winded. I guarantee you, he's giving the ball to the fullback the next play.
He is too.
He's not going to keep it 2 plays in a row.
That's good. Got a good shot of being our Titan home services play of the game right now where we stand, but I'm not sure I was able to capture it over here. We'll have it later. There's a pass incomplete. Peterson had to go high and couldn't crawl the ladder that high. Incomplete pass. 3rd down and short. So Hutch trying to go with a quick opener.
A lot of players, when it's a running back who makes a 51-yard gain that way, they come out and get their breath for a play or two. But when it's the quarterback, he's got to stay out there.
3rd down and 1. Certainly 4-down territory here with, again, 4:50 to go in this first half of play. We're in the second quarter. Glad to have you along this evening. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, and Sarah Peterson. The turn to give to McEwen. Bounces off and then thrown for a loss all the way back to the 25. No gain on the play.
Tell you what, that's a couple of very impressive tackles by Barrett Rhodes tonight.
It really was. 4th down, same play. No gain on the play. I thought he had a little forward progress, but they did bounce back out to the outside, and that's when they dropped him. And him being McEwen. So 4th down and short.
Defense is stacking it up in the middle.
Quarterback sneak, and the big framed 6'4" quarterback for Hutchinson takes it across for the first down. And it'll move the chains. 1st and 10, Hutch.
Well done by Miles Thompson, but also give Mason Seitz, Cooper Doobie, and Chase Kepler a heck of a lot of credit because the campus Colts had everybody crammed up there near the
they got Rico on crutches right now as he's headed to the locker room down in the other end zone. So
yeah, I think unfortunately
don't think we're going to see him again.
He's finished for the night.
Thompson, the quarterback, splits right outs on the left and right side. 1st and 10 for Hutchinson from the 24 campus. Man of motion, that's Blackwell. To keep on the outside, to loose football, and Noah Kokar coughed it up, but Hutchinson, let's see who hung on to it. I think Miles got back to get to it.
He had to pitch the ball sooner than he wanted to, and there just was not any good spacing at all between Thompson and Kokar.
Loss of 6 on the play, 2nd down and 16.
One of the things when you run the option is the pitch back and the quarterback are expected to be about 4 or 5 yards apart from each other.
Miles Thompson, the quarterback, wants to throw the ball, steps back, has a receiver out there, goes deep all the way down to Peterson, incomplete pass. Good coverage down there by the campus Colts.
Not necessarily a passing situation, believe it or not, with this 3rd and 17 because, as you said earlier, Glenn, it is 2-down territory, and this flex-bone offense is more than capable of picking up 17 yards on a couple of run plays if that's the way they want to try to do it.
Malachi Lejeune, the back there in coverage, did a nice job.
Rocket toss formation.
Could be. 3rd down and 16. And there goes the rocket toss, but they've read it all the way. Kokar is thrown backwards all the way to the 40.
Corbin Williams deep in the backfield, and that is going to be a 6-yard loss.
Yeah, all the way back to the 40-yard line. Well, see where they mark his forward progress. You're correct. It is at the 36-yard line. So 4th down and 23.
Well, that's an unfortunate situation where even though Hutchinson did not lose the fumble on the pitch, it set them back and stalled the drive.
So Hudson offense a little dejected right now. They'll go back and huddle up, and they're going to go for it. And the way McEwen can move the football, you can pick up that 23 yards pretty doggone quickly, but let's see if this is a passing situation or not.
Could be a good opportunity for a screen.
Yeah, timeout's going to be taken. Hutch wants to talk things over. We'll get a break in. 2:19 to go in this First half of play, we're in the second quarter. 14-14 tie. Hutch knocking on the door, but facing 4th and 23. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, we said a full minute, but decided to bring it back just a little early because Hutchinson's already out on the field. They've broken huddle, 2:19 to go. And it's a 4th down and 23 facing the Salthawk offense.
I think Coach Mike Vernon knew what play he wanted to call, but he wanted to make sure he had the right personnel package on the field.
And still a little confusion as Blackwell comes over. Now he'll step back up on the left side this time, so still not in the formation that they wanted to be in.
Overloaded to the left.
So play clock started now at 22. Doobie on the top of the ball. Thompson, the quarterback, he'll back it up. Wants to throw it, goes long, goes way long. As a receiver out there, catches, man, incomplete pass. Oh, I thought he had it.
Very similar touchdown attempt that we saw at Garden City.
Just out of the end zone.
Miles Thompson to Trey Peterson.
That was a long one to Peterson, but incomplete. Taking over on downs now will be Campus. They have time to get on the board with 2:10 to go in the half. That was a good play right there, but overthrew, and the catch was made, but out of bounds over the end of the end zone. Now quickly, here comes Campus. They want to move with the football. Hudson defense having to scramble to get set up. 1st and 10 for the Campus Colts. And movement is going to go against Hutchinson, encroachment on that left side. And Hutchinson had problems with that against Andover the other day. Encroachment, it's going to go against us. So you're correct. That's like I called to start off with. They'll mark it at the 41, 1st and 5.
Prior to that 4th down attempt, Hutchinson was 10 out of 17 on the season, 59% success rate.
Turn to give straightaway running. Picks up about 4 on the play. 2nd down and short.
That was the longest 4th down conversion attempt of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And they almost came up with it. I think Trey Peterson caught the ball, but it looked to me like he just
out of the end zone,
stepped a little bit out of bounds.
Buckles on the carry. Makes it about a 2nd down and 2.
Campus,
runs the 44-yard line.
Campus does have 2 timeouts remaining, so if they pick up a 1st down or 2, look for them to try to score before half.
D'Angelo Green will be my halftime guest, former Salthawk.
One of the best running backs ever.
Keep by Jay. Pitches on the outside. Trying to turn the corner. I have it 50. All the way down inside Salthawk territory, out of bounds on the run. Nice run over there by Dorton. Moves the chain, stops the clock with 1:23 to go.
When Phil Anderson and I were coaching 8th grade basketball, D'Angelo Green was helping coach 7th grade basketball. He got to do a little basketball coaching with D. Green.
Well, then you're going to stay in there and help me, is what you're going to do. Ball at the 42-yard line of Hutchinson.
He's a good man, been selling real estate, very professional.
They'll stack it up with a wide out on the left side. Tight ends in tight. Man in motion. Turn to keep by Jay. The pitch on the outside. Trying to turn the corner outside. They'll pinch on it and pick up about 6 on the play. A flag on the play as Sicard, who scored earlier, took it around that left side with a nice pickup of about 7 yards.
It's going to be a hold against Campus, and that flag was thrown about 20 yards in the air. Thank goodness it didn't hit anybody.
It's going to back them up. See if it's from the point of the infraction. They'll march it off, and it will be from the point of infraction all the way back to the 50. So that'll be a 2nd down and 18 now. Or check that. Should be 1st and 18. It is. 1st and 18 for Campus. 1:15 to go. We'll keep our eye on the clock. We're tied at 14 each. 14-14 tie between Hutchinson and Hayesville campus.
That penalty certainly makes it more difficult for campus.
Man in motion. Wants to throw it. Jay back. Scrambles to the right side. Throws it on his way. It's intercepted. It's caught and stepping out of bounds with it is Hutchinson.
Nolan Cunningham with his third interception of the season.
They'll mark it right at the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 Hutch, so they push back on campus. 58 seconds to go before intermission.
Campus tried the bootleg with the quarterback rolling out to his right, and Nolan Cunningham maintained excellent coverage. He saw the play all the way, and then he went and collected the football.
He was still running, and I'm referring to Jay when he threw the ball, and that takes a lot of oomph to get the ball down there because you didn't set up and dig in that right foot to throw it. So 1st and 10 now from Hutchinson. Let's see if they're content just to go to the locker room and regroup with a 14-14 tie or go for the long one.
See if McEwen can pick up about 15 or 20 yards here.
Thompson, the quarterback, steps back off the line of scrimmage. They reset and change the offense. Here we go, straight away running. It's McEwen all the way up to about the 39. Nice pickup. Clock moving away at the 51-second mark. Now the Hutch will take a timeout and try to set up something here. We'll get a 30-second break in. Your score with 51 seconds to go in the second quarter of play. Hutch 14, Campus 14. We'll be back in a half minute.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Welcome back. 51 seconds to go before halftime. 14-14 tie. Hutchinson facing a 2nd down and 1 situation with 51 ticks left on the clock. We're tied at 14.
Happy Boss's Day to everybody who has folks reporting to. Happy Boss's Day, Glenn.
You bet I'm not a boss. Let me tell you something. You haven't been in my household. I am not a boss. I lost that credibility a long time ago. I was one time, but not anymore.
Sports director at KWDW Radio.
2nd down and 1. Back to pass is Miles Thompson. Wants to go long. Airs it out. Has a receiver out there diving for the football. Stoppage of play with 45 seconds remaining. It was not called. Incomplete pass. Not caught, but Barlow was the intended receiver at the 40. And so it brings up a 3rd down and 1 with 45 seconds to go.
Hutchinson still has 1 timeout, and the clock will stop anytime they make a 1st down. So 45 seconds, they could conceivably run another 3 or 4 plays before this half's over.
More importantly, is to get that 1st down, maybe. You don't want to risk giving campus the ball on that short of a field with seconds left to go. The feed to give straight away running up to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, it'll move the chains.
I don't know how he picked up any yards on that play at all.
Good?
That's impressive.
Yes, it was. Blackwell will check out. Barlow back into the ball game. 36 seconds to go before halftime. Clock moving away. We're tied at 14. Back to pass is Thompson. Looks. Now he wants to run. Going to tuck it away up to the 40, to the 45, up to the 50-yard line, and dances out of bounds. They'll mark him at the 50-yard line. Stops the clock with 26 seconds remaining to go before halftime.
You know, a 2-yard gain may not sound like much, but when it's 3rd down and 1, and you have 6'4", 251-pound Keith Spain 2 yards deep in the backfield, tackling you as soon as you get the football, Alec McEwen just got that 1st down on sheer determination.
2nd down and 1. 2nd down and 1. So short yardage situation for Hutch with 26 seconds left to go at midfield. We're in the first half of play. Back to pass. Thompson looks, goes. Catch is made by Peterson at the 40, to the 30, to the 25, 20, 15, 10. Call it 6. Touchdown Peterson.
Oh, my goodness. I'm thinking, Peterson, get out of bounds. What are you doing? He turned back towards the field instead of going to the sideline, and he scampered he turned on the jets, and that's a 50-yard touchdown pass with 14 seconds to play in the second quarter.
450 yards, Peterson with the catch for the touchdown. Makes it 20-14. Hutchinson with the lead. Carter Blue to give him a 7-point edge here. The kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And your score, with 14 seconds to go before halftime, 21-14, Hutchinson with the lead. We'll be back for the Hutch kickoff right after this.
Forward, always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward, together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. So glad to have you along tonight. As Hutchinson playing some good football right there and taking advantage of the clock, making everything work, and got the hits pattern over there to Peterson. He caught it at the 40 and was gone.
I might have to cast my vote so far to that one for the Titan play of the game.
I would stand to kind of agree with you on that one, possibly, because he took it right down the sidelines and really good motion right there and did a nice job.
And it resulted in points.
Here comes the kick. It's going to go all the way down to the 5-yard line and be returned on the way on the outside. Angle to the outside. He has some room still to the 30. Hitch up to the 35. Up still on his feet up to the 40-yard line. And the clock stops with 2 seconds to go. Nice return right there by Reimer as he returns it all the way up short of Hutchinson territory up to the 42-yard line.
Jacob Reimer can play. That's who scored the touchdown on the catch that was a difficult catch on that bootleg pass earlier.
So 1st and 10 for Campus now with 2 seconds to go, and you probably would go with a desperation toss, I would suggest, more than likely.
Don't want to commit a penalty if you're on defense and give Campus the chance for another untimed down. Let them gain as many yards as they want as long as they don't get into the end zone.
1st and 10 for Campus. They trail it by 7. Man in motion. Jay's going to keep it. That's going to be halftime. We go into the locker rooms with a 21-14 lead for the Salthawks of Hutchinson. We'll take a break. We'll be back, add up all the numbers, and talk about some of the highlights from the first half of play. We'll be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
The no fair sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowans Stadium. It's halftime. Hutchinson enjoying a 21-14 lead over the Campus Colts. We got a good one going here tonight, folks. Well, you enjoyed the first half of play. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule, brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main in Hutchinson. The Medicine Shop. Talking to Rick the other day, they've got the flu shots in, and yes, they also have the HD. Those of you that are 65 and older, the heavy-duty flu shot is important to get. Gives you just a little bit more boost in your immune system to fight off that flu, and such an important thing to do this year. Also, CBD oils, they've got a little bit of everything. Talk to one of the pharmacists about the CBD oil. You'd be surprised. I kind of twisted my foot the other day doing some mowing, kind of stepped in a hole, Dan, and was able to use what I have. I have some of the roll-on CBD oil and took away the pain just about instantaneously. It really works, folks. Give it a try if you would. The Medicine Shop. Always doing a good job. Care beyond prescriptions. That's the Medicine Shop. Well, this game started off with a 63-yard run by Campus as the running back Sicard, with 6:41 to go in the first quarter of play, went 63 yards on the touchdown to make it 6-0. Point after was good, 7-0 ball game. 3:12 to go in the first quarter of play. A 7-yard touchdown run by Miles Thompson, the keeper, and made it 7-6, and then a boot point after made it 7-7 tie. And then Hutch with Blackwell with a 5-yard run, his first touchdown of the season at the 8:03 mark of the second quarter of play. Point after was good, made it 14-7. Then you turn around with 6:19 to go. It was a J to Reimer, 8-yard pass for the touchdown. Point after was good. We're tied at 14. And just seconds ago, a 50-yard pass to from Thompson again to Peterson. And Peterson romped down the sidelines from 40 yards. They caught it at the 40 and took it 40 yards for the TD to make it 20-14. The point after was good, 21-14. That's how we got there on the scoreboard. How we get there by statistics, Dan?
Well, talking about that exciting touchdown pass, Thompson to Peterson in just the final seconds of that second quarter. Remember, it was set up by an interception by Nolan Cunningham as Campus was driving it the other direction before half. And Nolan Cunningham's big interception gave Hutchinson the ball on their own 30 with just 58 seconds to play in the second quarter. And ultimately, Hutchinson converted that opportunity to 7 points in a very exciting way. Miles Thompson with 94 yards rushing in that first half, 1 touchdown. Alec McEwen, 75 yards rushing. Anthony Blackwell, 24 yards rushing and a touchdown. Noah Kokar had 5 rushing attempts for 20 yards. Trayton Peterson caught 3 passes in that first half, 97 yards, 1 touchdown, and obviously the big one, just with 14 seconds to play in the second quarter, the big 50-yard touchdown reception, most of it with the run after the catch. Also, David Waymeyer leading the way defensively for Hutchinson with 5 tackles from his defensive line position. For the Campus Colts, on defense, Corbin Williams, 10 tackles in that first half of football. Very impressive. He also picked up 21 yards rushing for the Colts in that first half. Total yards, Buckles with 104 yards. Right now, he's the leading rusher in this game, 104 yards on 7 attempts. Hutchinson gains 310 yards of total offense in the first half. Campus Colts 215. Hutchinson leads it 21-14.
That is your Medicine Shop in-game capsule, brought to you by the Medicine Shop at 14th and Main in Hutchinson. Don't forget, it's flu shots, CBD oil. They got a little bit of everything. A couple score updates for you. A good one going with Derby and Mays. Derby 14, Mays 12. Also Larned over Hugoton 20-6. And also Junction City on top of Coach Knack's alma mater, Emporia, 21-0. We will take a 1-minute timeout, come back to talk to great running back for the Salthawks of the past, D'Angelo Green. We'll be back right after this 1-minute break.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
We are back at halftime. 21-14, a Hutch on top off a exciting touchdown with just 14 seconds to go. Peterson ran 40 yards after catching the ball from 10 yards out to take it in the end zone. Joining me now, D'Angelo Green, the fine former Salthawk from long ago. How long ago, D'Angelo?
Man, how long would that be?
2002,
so 18 years ago. Yeah.
18 years ago. You've seen a lot of grass go under your feet since then, my young man. But I tell you what, I remember watching you. I used to help Rusty with the sidelines and then just be up helping doing some things. And what an outstanding career you had with the Salthawks. Where'd you go after the Salthawks?
I went off to Garden City Community College for 2 years, and I finished up at Northeastern State University.
I have to give you a hard time on that one. Okay, so you finished your degree then. You came back, settled back in Hutchinson, and you're in real estate now.
Yes, sir.
How are you liking that? This is hot. It's a hot commodity around here right now. Real estate is.
Yes, this is my 10th year, and I mean the market right now is crazy. I mean, you put a house up and it sells pretty quick. So.
What made you decide to go into real estate?
You know, I usually look at properties on the investing end. So starting out investing, I figured, hey, why not get a real estate license and purchase my own properties?
Mm-hmm. So do you have some of your own properties that you have rented out and things like that? Or
yes.
So much? Okay, so you're kind of in both sides of it a little bit then.
Right.
All right. Well, do you think HGTV and some of those television shows have helped people kind of get into the flipping mode and all that type of thing? Or
yeah.
What's your thoughts?
It does, but I think sometimes people watch the show and they take their houses to the extreme. So.
Tell you what, I see some high prices on those. Also, I see some low remodeling prices. You have to agree with me on that.
Yes,
You're sitting there saying, well, we can fix this kitchen up for about $12,000 when you know it's going to be $25, maybe $30 in reality.
Right.
So either prices are different on different coasts. Talk about your football coaching career. It's off and running. You've been helping with some youngsters. So important for Mike Vernon's and that flex bone to be taught at the lower levels. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, you know, I coach 7th grade football. Basically, you know, we just try to build kids through the system to basically run the same thing that the high school are going to be doing. So we just try to teach basics and get them prepared for high school football.
You know how important that is.
Oh, it's very important.
Yeah. Got to be run basically the same system. And Coach Knack was one of the coaches way back when.
Yeah,
Chime in here.
I think that was about 86 years ago. But it's fun to coach the younger kids. We coached middle school basketball together.
Yes, we did.
And coached freshman football for quite a number of years. And it was always fun. When you get them when they're younger, maybe they listen a little bit more. They're not as physically developed.
Right.
But it's very gratifying then when you get to watch these guys that you helped get ready for varsity football have some success.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's a pleasure watching them go out and play, too. You know, watch them grow up from 7th grade.
I was going to say, in some years here now, you've seen quite a few kids come all the way through the program.
Yes, sure have.
And that has to be a big part of pride for you yourself as an individual.
Yes, I love watching them out here playing. So I have a son that's in the 7th grade, so you know, maybe in the next 3-4 years I can watch him play.
How was the year this year? And were you guys undefeated or pretty close?
No, we lost to McPherson last night, 0-6.
Oh, my.
Yeah. First loss in 3 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on a great 3-year run. Now all you can do is start one over again.
Right. Pressure's off.
Okay. Exactly. So that's exciting. No, it's very exciting. What do you do in your free time? Doesn't sound like you have too much of it.
Oh, just run around with my kids, read books, you know, try to be as active as possible.
How active have you been with Salthawk football? How long have you been active with it?
I would say this might be my 10th year. Maybe somewhere between 10 and 12.
And you're here at the game, you're helping with spot on stats and some other things over in the other booth over there.
Yeah.
And kind of giving Mitch a little bit of a hand. Now, is he the 8th grade coach? I believe he is.
No, Bringham coaches with me.
He coaches with you. Okay, yeah. He's the O-line man. Okay. Yeah. All right. So, well, great season. No doubt about that. Tough loss to Mac.
Yeah.
But is that going to eat at you for a while?
It will, but we'll be better and ready to go next year. So.
Yeah. Awesome.
Was that the last scheduled game, or is that the last game because of the pandemic?
That was the last scheduled game, but our game last week, we were supposed to play Salina South, and it got canceled. So.
Okay, so you were short a game this season.
Right. Yeah.
All righty. Do you help out on any other sports or just football?
No, I used to coach basketball with Coach Knack and, you know, with Phil Anderson and, Yeah, I never
How
got
was
back
that?
to it.
I got to know how that was.
It's fun coaching with Coach Anderson.
One of the best X and O's guys in the state of Kansas.
Yeah, he was great in basketball. I love playing for him too. So,
do you like playing for a mentally tough coach more than you always talk about coaches, player coach, coaches coach? You know what I mean? Some coaches are really good with the players. Others are pretty strict, and you don't cross them at all. Which are you, D'Angelo?
I like the strict ones. I guess they kind of kept me in line a little bit. So, Coach Anderson, Coach Drowling, they were good. I love those type of kids, or not kids, but coaches.
Yeah. How has it been getting through the pandemic and working with the kids as well? It puts a little added responsibility, I would think, to make sure that the masks are on when they're supposed to be and all that, things that we've had to go through this season.
Yeah, it was difficult. It's just something that was different for all of us. Kids, coaches, even parents. So
back to real estate. If somebody wants to list a house with you, want to throw out a phone number, they can get a hold of you.
Hey, 620-921-0923.
Awesome, 0923. No doubt about that. Well, it certainly is it's a seller's market right now, but also a buyer's market. If you're into it, you can get some pretty low interest rates.
Right, interest rates are low, so
it makes it pretty easy. Who are you affiliated with?
Realty Executives.
Okay, Realty Executives, D'Angelo Green. Give him a call. Appreciate you stopping by.
Still have the big billboard out there on.
You know what? I took it down. I grew a beard, and people were like, "Man, that doesn't look like you anymore." So
I'd always say hi to you when I'd go out there on Yoder Road, and I'd see you on the big billboard.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach Green.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad that I love it when people return to Hutchinson. You could have probably went anywhere, and it's a good opportunity to come back and raise family, and like you said, a couple kids, and it's always fun to have you. You're a very good young man. I've heard great things about you. First time I've officially met you, and I look forward to seeing you around more, okay?
Very impressive feature article in the Hutchinson Collegian that came out today.
Yeah, go to Facebook, and it's Hutch CC Collegian magazine. There's some around campus, but I know you can look for it, and good job for showing that. Good job. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
D'Angelo Green, fine running back for Hutchinson, former running back for Hutchinson, and really did a nice job when he played here. Always good to see those folks come back. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. Second half just around the way, and Hutchinson, Coach Knack and I'll be back with more right after this 2-minute timeout. I'm going to make it 2. We'll be right back.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowans Stadium. It's 21-14. Hutchinson with the lead at halftime. A couple minutes away from the start of the second half of play. So glad to have you along this evening. And what an electrifying end to the game in the first half of play with 14 seconds on the clock. The ball was at the 50-yard line. Peterson with kind of a hitch pattern came back and caught the ball at the 40, turned up field, and took it right down the sidelines. Dan Nacarado for 6, and with 14 seconds remaining to go by the time Now, all was said and done, Hutch is now with a 21-14 lead at halftime.
Trey Peterson rolled the dice a little bit on that because as the seconds were ticking away, you're thinking, get out of bounds and stop the clock. But instead, he took a couple steps back towards the middle of the field, and then, as you said, sprinted straight ahead for the end zone. And someone almost got him at about the 15, but he was fast enough to pull away.
Well, Peterson's speed also took him out of the end of the end zone earlier that wiped out a touchdown on a catch that was on a big, long pass by Thompson. Thompson with a lot of yards in the first half passing did a nice job there as we're getting set to get set for the opening second half kickoff, that is, which will be campus coming up with the football as they defer to the second half. Some scores from across Kansas. Pittsburgh 22, Atchison 9. That is a final. Little River, a final over Harrington 54-6. Little River really having a good football season this year. Kingman 69-0 over Blue Stem. And also Ellis leading Southwestern Heights 27-6. These are some outer area games. Did you see where there was a six-man football game between Cunningham and Pawnee Heights? Now, this is from close to my area. I went to Pawnee Rockta School, which is quite a ways away from Pawnee Heights. Pawnee Heights over by Roselle. We passed through the Burdette, where the Clyde Tombaugh
one of our
museum
all-time favorite landmarks.
Exactly. But listen to this. Six-man football, okay. Kid gets hurt for Pawnee Heights, five-man football.
Oh, wow.
Then a kid gets hurt for Pawnee Heights, four-man football. And then finally,
quarterback can't run.
They cannot run. You're correct.
Did they let him run if it gets down to 5?
I don't believe so. And then finally,
minutes?
there was only 3 players from Pawnee Heights left. One was a girl that started the season as a manager, calls the game at 52-7.
Wow.
Was your final, and I think that was probably the kind of the run rule.
It's not 10 yards for a first down.
15 for a first down. 80-yard field. It's fun.
That would be fun to play.
Six-man football is lots of fun. My goal some year is to broadcast a six-man football game.
And everyone's eligible to catch passes.
Yes, exactly.
Wow,
You're going to be
that
with
would
me.
be fun.
Here we go to start this second half of play. Here is 21-14. Hutchinson with the lead. Sophie Hill's brought some luck tonight as she is Mr. Hackney, Devin Hackney's grandmother. She is here in attendance, and so glad to have her along this evening. Ball's going to be taken to the 14-yard line, straight up the field. A stoppage of play. Do we have an offsides penalty? Looks like we might have, and they're going to bring it back and have to kick it over, I believe. Flag on the field on the far side. Yes, it will be a 5-yard penalty against the kicking team, and they'll have to kick it off again, and that'll be against the Salthawks.
One of those rare situations where the penalty against Hutchinson may have worked in their favor.
Might work in their favor.
Because a big return was materializing there, it looked like.
So Hutch will kick it off again, this time from the 35-yard line. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Sophie Hill is from Pflugerville, Texas, which is just north of Austin, just on the outskirts of Austin in the great state of Texas. Here comes the kick. It is going to be taken this time at the 15 and going to angle to the right side across the 20 to the 25. I see a flag fly again all the way up the sideline, still on his feet to the 40-yard line, but let's see if this one's coming back or not.
Another flag after the first one came out. 2 flags on the field. You realize, Glenn, it's a rule this year. Whenever you say Pflugerville, I have to repeat it.
Yep, that's right.
I just love the sound
Pflugerville.
Pflugerville.
Players hurt that returned the football did not have a number on him. They're going to come out in the 10. I think it's Reimer, and he returned it up to about the 40-yard line, but it's coming back. Evidently a hold back at about the 30.
You hate to see any player get injured ever, but
holding is going to be the call.
My goodness.
So it's going to go deep back into campus territory. So now 2 players may be out. We do know for a fact that
Taton Rico
is out.
And he caught 2 passes for 79 yards in that first half. Taton Rico, a very impressive player. He's on crutches right now. And Reimer scored a touchdown on a pass reception in that first half. He's another important part of the
Well, he
Campus
took Rico's
team.
place, I think, at that wide receiver spot. So that's a pretty big injury if he's not able to continue. Right now, Campus will face a first down and 10 from right out around the 23-yard line. And They're still attending to the player on the field. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back with more. 11:52 to go in this third period of play. 21-14, Hutchinson on top of Hayesville campus. We'll be back in 1 minute.
The no fare sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Well, Reimer makes his way over the sidelines, but he is in a lot of pain. We'll see how he's going to be. Here's the play for scrimmage. Got some room to run across the 30. Finally tackled after a first down is going to be number 26 out there. Again, with the football is going to be Buckles, and Weathers on the stop.
Buckles having a big game.
He has. He has been solid. 1st and 10 now for campus. So Buckles on the ground was able to pick up some positive yardage. Another one they have out there, Corbin Williams. We haven't seen him touch the ball for some time. Buckles at the fullback spot. The keep by Jay to the right side. Now he's going to tuck it away and run with the football across the 40 up to about the 42-yard line. Nice pickup of about 7. 2nd down and 3 on the play. Waymeyer comes over to make the stop.
If you're the Salthawk defense, you have to expect campus is going to run the ball almost exclusively with both Reimer and Rico out of commission for the rest of this game.
Yeah, this little white out in the top side. That's Skylar Rarden. He is, again, also a sophomore. They got lot of sophomores playing in this lineup on the roster. Here's the turn to keep by Jay. He's going to tuck it away on the outside, picks up a little bit of a block. I think he has the first down as he stretched all the way up to the 45-yard line. That's where he had to go, and yes, it is a first down. So Jay getting that one all on his own.
Another tackle in the open field by Weathers that time. Weathers, I believe he has about 5 tackles so far this game.
Braden Jay is a junior for the campus Colts. I want to say hi to a good friend of mine, Lauren Spears. Used to teach at campus, was a special education teacher, retired a few years ago. If she's watching, just want to say hi. Underneath, Jay, the quarterback, the pitch on the outside, trying to turn it on the outer perimeter is going to be Dorton, and he's going to be ran out of bounds. Hobber with the stop.
Jack Hobber with a tackle for loss, and showed some good speed to chase him down towards the sideline.
Loss on the play of about 2.5 to 3, 2nd down and 13.
Campus Colts really known for their basketball program.
Oh, my.
Last year, arguably, had the best basketball team in the state of Kansas.
Sterling Chapman just signed with Wichita State, or committed, I should say, to Wichita State. Ball's on the 42 for the Colts. Yeah, I think I was really impressed with when we traveled to campus last year with that young man. Gibbs straightaway running right up the middle. It's going to be Buckles trying to get to the outside. He's dropped it about the 48, way short of the first down. They'll mark it right at the 49-yard line, but got a lot of that loss they had a little while ago back. 5 or 6 yard pickup right there by Buckles.
Nolan Cunningham came up from his defensive secondary position to make the stop.
9:07 to go in this third quarter of play. 21-14, Hutchinson with the lead. We always make some scoring predictions. Well, we'll keep to ourselves because we're way short of those right now, but a lot of game left as we've just started the second half of play. 8:52 to go in this third period of play. Hutch 21-14 leading. Jay back to pass again, goes long as a receiver out there. Catch is incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver out there, Rardin. Skylar Rardin, R-A-R-D-I-N. Incomplete pass, one between his fingertips.
Good pass. Again, it was right on the money.
Brings up a 4th down and 7.
Notice defensively, Dorian Hippen is in the game for Hutchinson on this series at the defensive line position.
Didn't see an injury, so we'll try to keep abreast of that. By the way, we usually have sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza. Joe Blake will be back next week. Back in the shotgun. Well, actually, it's going to be a punt formation, as campus will punt the ball away and they get a hold of it and get a toe into it. Nice kick. coming up as Peterson takes it on a run, loses the football. He's got to get on it. He does, and covers up at the 33-yard line. Try to make something out of nothing. I think if Trayton could have caught that at full speed, he might have been able to really get some yards out of it, but came off of him and dangerous close to fumbling it away. It'll be Hutchinson football, 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line.
Worked out well for Hutchinson, though, because Peterson did not allow the ball to bounce another 15 yards towards Hutchinson's defensive end zone. And when it ricocheted off of him, it actually went forward about 5 or 6 yards.
Thompson sent Hogan out on the wideout, as well as Peterson on the top of your screen if you're watching. Give off now to Barlow. Has it 35, up to the 40, up to the 45-yard line, to 50, and knocked out of bounds. Positive yardage and a flag on the play. Might be a late hit. Let's see what the call is going to be. They're going to mark it right at the 45-yard line is where he stepped out of bounds, and they possibly could be a late hit situation on Barlow.
One of those plays that Hutchinson rarely runs. It's a fake pitch to the right and then a handoff to Barlow coming back almost like an inside reverse.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is going to be the call. They'll be on that hit. So they'll march it off from the 45 of Hutch. Jalen Barlow was my color commentator on the JV game this last Monday and the week before. Did a nice job.
Delightful young man and a very good football player.
Very good football player.
Good track athlete, too, if I'm not mistaken.
He is. Basketball, he said, was not his sport. We're glad football is. 1st and 10 from the 40 now of campus for Hutch. The give, quick opener. Here's McEwen all the way up to the 32. Pickup of 8.
McEwen he hits the hole so fast. He almost looks like a video game the way he just moves faster than all the other players on the field.
All right. 8:01 and counting away here in the third quarter of play. 2nd down and 2 for Hutchinson. Hutch leading 21-14 if you just tuned in. Miles Thompson, the quarterback, that he wants to throw the football. Looks across, has a receiver open, catching his Cocard to 20, leans forward to the 19-yard line. It'll be a 1st down for Hutchinson with 7:40 to go in this third quarter of play.
Well-designed play. That's been a staple of Hutchinson Salthawk football. They don't pass the ball very often, but when they do, the saying is touchdown, 1st down. Always look for the receiver going deep for the touchdown first. If he's covered, then throw it to the player to pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10 for the Salthawks. Football at the 19-yard line of campus. Thompson down there, Doobie to center. Keeps it on his own. Across the 15, to the 20. Angles back to the right side. 15 all the way down to the 3. I say 5 down to the 3-yard line, excuse me. Nice run by Miles Thompson. So it'll be a 1st and goal situation. Miles has an uncanny way of stopping and just going a complete different direction, and they overshoot him a lot. And of course, that 6'4" plus frame is able to take it down to the 3rd-yard line. 1st and goal from the 3.
Each Salthawk player who carries the ball has their own very distinctive style. You could tell who's carrying the ball if they weren't even wearing any numbers on their uniforms just by the way they run.
Thompson, the quarterback, to give the Barlow. Touchdown, Hutchinson. Barlow in from 3 yards out. Comes at the 6:38 mark of the third quarter of play. And Barlow took it in from 3 yards out. Kind of a counter. (27-14). Hutchinson with the lead. Carter Boo. The kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good. Your score, Hutchinson 28. Campus 14. 6:38 to go in the third period of play. We'll be back in a half minute.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Welcome back, everybody. It's 6:38 to go in the third period of play. It was a Salthawk touchdown from 3 yards out. Jalen Barlow, 28-14 is your score. Hutch up by 2 scores. And that's kind of more like it, isn't it, Dan?
Well, we're back on track to hopefully score in the 40s if you're a Salthawk fan. That's what Sarah and you and I, all three, predicted that we would be well above 40 points tonight.
6:38 to go here in the third period of play. And we will kick the ball off again, waiting for some other scores from Kansas to come in. It was Newton in a good one with Salina South. Waiting on that Derby score to enter in again. It'll be Mays, the opponent for Hudson next week here at home. Mays undefeated on the season. Taking on Derby tonight. McPherson 52, Mulvane nothing. That's the third quarter score. Here's a kick taken at the 7-yard line by Campus, trying to angle it. That's Jay back there, and he returns it all the way back out to the 29. 1st and 10 now for the Campus Colts from their own 29-yard line.
Dakota Thompson made the tackle.
Junction City 49-7 now, third quarter score over Emporia. Larned over Hugoton 34-6. And Kenton Galva 66 to Solomon 0. That's the final. Here it is 28-14. Hutchinson with the lead here in the third period of play as we're midway through the third. Jay, the quarterback. Braden Jay hands it off quickly right up the middle. Loose football picked up by the Salthawks. Is getting in there is Newquist to come up with it. It'll be Hutchinson Salthawks football. First man to touch it, actually, for the Salthawks was Nolan Cunningham, but it slipped away from him, and Newquist was like a bloodhound going after that ball, like a Labrador, in there sniffing it out and coming up with the football. 6:24 remaining to go. In his third period of play, and Hutch with a great opportunity with the ball 1st and 10 from the 33.
A lot of coaches like to go for that quick strike after coming up with a big turnover in their opponent's territory.
Miles Thompson, the quarterback, turn to get on cue, and slices to the middle, across the 30, down to the 35-yard line, and more. Forward progress finally stopped at the 23. He gets so many yards after he's first touched. I mean, he has that initial burst, which you're right, he hits the hole so quick. But then after that, he kind of gets a full head of steam and gets 3 or 4 more yards after they finally come up and try to tackle him.
Combination of strength, speed, and desire. That makes good things happen.
It sure does. 2nd down and 1, a pickup of 9 for McEwen. Another great night by McEwen.
Well, he's got Barlow out in the
sure does. Split out on the white side. Keeping his Thompson to pitch back. This time it's Kokard at the 20. He's going to be snuffed out there. And looked to be down. Campus says they came up with a fumble, but that's not the case. He was out of bounds. Kokar at the 21.
Give these Campus Colts some credit. They're continuing to compete even though they have 2 of their best players sidelined with injuries that happened during the course of this game. They're still competing.
Nickerson and Cheney playing tonight. Cheney 42, Nickerson 6. Started the fourth quarter of play.
Coach Jamie Cruz out on the field asking the officials for some clarification about.
He saw the ball laying there, but Kokar was clearly out of bounds with the football. So Hutchinson now 1st and 10 as that Kokar run picked up the first down. 5:41 to go in the third period of play. Thompson looks to the bench. So does Peterson. Gets his call from head coach Mike Vernon. McEwen checks his wrist. He's at the fullback slot. Up top in the slot is Kokar, wide receiver to the right side. There's going to be Kokar off his fingertips, incomplete pass.
Really wasn't much there that time as 2 Campus Colts were ready to make the tackle if Kokar did catch that short pass.
Yeah, Zach Hogan was the other receiver in that formation on the top side. So now it brings up a 2nd down and 10. 2nd and 10 for the Hutch Salthawks.
Miles Thompson has about 12 or 13 pass attempts this game.
Give to McEwen, angles back against the grain again, all the way down to about the 14-yard line, short of the first down to bring up 3rd down and short for Hutchinson. 3rd and 3. Here comes Blackwell in for Barlow. It's interesting. They're talking to Jalen up here the other day. His older brother helped film for Eagle Radio back about 10 years ago. He used to fall asleep before we'd even get 10 miles out of town. Rusty and I used to just laugh about it. We wouldn't get past Airport Road, past 4th Street, and he'd be asleep.
I can't imagine being in the car with you and Rusty and sleeping through that
Rusty
opportunity.
did have the Golf Channel on, so I got to say that.
That's an opportunity for wisdom.
Back to pass. Catch is made over the far side. Kokar, touchdown, Kokar, from 13 yards out. Is Trayton Peterson on the catch? Okay, Peterson on the catch for 6. I apologize.
2nd TD catch for Trey Peterson tonight.
4:48 to go in the 3rd period of play. And that was a 13-yard TD pass to Peterson. Point after kick is up, and it is good. And your score, with 4:48 to go in the 3rd period of play, Hutchinson 35, Campus 14. We'll be back for the Hutch kickoff in 30 seconds.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Well, I apologize to Trayton Peterson. Totally blew that call. He caught it on the far side. Coker's number 7. Our Coker's number 7, and Peterson 1. I only saw from the side there.
And it was on the far side of the field.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I need to get in and get my eyes checked again. What do you think? Anyway, a solid drive for Hutchinson. And puts it another 7 on the board, 35-14, Salthawks.
Hey, and that's the first time a receiver is over 100 yards for Hutchinson in a game in a long time. We'll have to see if we can find out when the last time that happened.
Go digging into your book a little bit there.
Give me some homework tomorrow.
Eisenhower leads Dodge City. That's kind of a surprise, 23-14. Dodge has been playing some pretty good football. TMP 12, Cimarron 9. That's a third quarter score from out west. Here's the kick, and here's the kickoff. It's taken up front at the 24-yard line, but the up back for the Campus Colts is number 10 back there. Nathan Bowen returns it straight up the middle. Pretty good yardage as they'll mark the football. See exactly where they're going to start it at. Looks to be the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for Campus from the 39 of Campus 39. From tennis, both Hutchinson doubles teams were knocked out of the tournament up in Olathe. Gracie Foster won her first match, and then fell into the consolation bracket. Not sure what else she's done today. She's in singles play. Ball straight away on a 1st and 10 run down to up to the 43-yard line. So 2nd down and 7.
Good season, though, for Salthawk tennis.
Yes, they've had a good season. Won a regional. Not sure what Railsback did. I'll have to look at the bracket. And tune in to Hutch Post tomorrow morning. We'll have all the finals for you. 2nd down and 7. The pitch on the outside, trying to turn it again is Buckles. And not much of a gain right there. Actually, a different ball player for Campus is carrying it forward was Dorton, number 20.
Haver, Waymeyer, and Martinez combined to make the stop after a very short game.
2nd and 7. Campus, maybe the wind's a little out of their sails right now, Dan, as they've lost a couple key players. Rico especially at that wide receiver spot, and then Reimer went down.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for a team to continue to compete at full speed after a couple of key players go down in a game.
Rardon, one of the wide receiver spots up top side. Back to pass, still going for it is Jay. Throws it, catches, no, incomplete. Intended receiver was Sicard, and it just came off of him, and he gets up a little slow.
Had it in his hands, but Kinzer Newquist once again covered some ground while the ball was in flight, got there just at the right moment to break up the pass. Hard hit, and you're right, Sicard is still limping.
4th down and 6 now. 3:24 to go here in the third period of play. Campus trailing 35-14. Campus showed early on that they could drive right down the football field. The timeout's going to be taken by the Colts. We'll get a break in as well. 3:24 to go in this third period of play. Hutch 35, Campus 14. We'll be back in a half minute.
The medicine shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need, delivered with speed, the lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the medicine shop.
Well, Campus just the one to talk things over, Dan, and they want to make sure on this 4th down situation whether to punt the football or go for it this time in the ball game. And as well as Hutch has been moving the football, Campus really needs to keep the ball in their hands as long as they possibly can. But right now, if you do not make this, you're giving short field advantage to Hutchinson. So we will see what they're going to call. 4th down and 6. They're going to go for it. Jay, the quarterback, backpedals, wants to throw it. Incomplete pass, in and out of the hands of Dorton. Kind of threw it a little bit behind him, and it ends up being an incomplete pass. And Hutch will take over inside of Campus territory at the 43.
Campus went to the screen pass, which is always a difficult play to defend for high school football defenses, but the pass was just a little off the mark.
Salthawks with a short field, 43-yard line, leading at 35-14. So they break huddle. McEwen still in there, that fullback spot. Thompson, the cornerback, to give to McEwen. Dances through the 40, to the 35. He's loose. He's at the 30, at the 20-yard line, and caught from behind all the way down to the 18-yard line. So a burst up the middle by McEwen. It'll be a first down for Hutchinson at the 18.
Love to know how many yards Alec McEwen picks up after that first contact, because it has to be a whole bunch.
Well, you can go back to that, 225 carries maybe that he's got, and check it out. But you're right, it does have to be a whole bunch. McEwen, the ball carrier again, carries forward for some positive yardage. Haven and Trinity locked up in a good one. Haven 14, Trinity Catholic 10 in the third quarter of play.
That one's going to go down to the wire.
And if you want to watch that one, it also is on HutchPost.com. 2nd down and 10 now. No gain on the play. 2:32 to go. Again in this third quarter of play. May South 21, Hayes 14 right now in the fourth quarter of action. Here's a keep. Pitch out to Kokar, loses the football, loose ball on the turf. And I think Campus came up with it, and yes, they did.
Again, it was the pitch relationship that was just a little bit out of kilter. That time, Kokar was a little far away from Thompson when Thompson went to make the pitch, and he was a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage than Thompson expected him to be.
Got a nice text from a good friend of mine indicating that number 57 for the Salthawks, and that would be Aaron Jefferson, put a lot of pressure on that Campus quarterback on that 4th and 6 play, and he's right. So now 1st and 10 for Campus after the fumble by Hutchinson. They'll have it right at the 21-yard line, their own 21. Thank you, Adam. Back to passes. Again, Jay on the outside. He scampers around that left side. Positive yardage, has the first down. Stretched it to get the first down, but there might be short. As he say, he stepped out right at the 30, and it will be. He tried to go to the 31 is where you need to go to. Second down and 1. Hutchinson in hot pursuit.
Aaron Jefferson, a player that could help the Salthawks on either side of the football.
He really could. He certainly can. He's a junior. 5'8", 195. Second down and 1. Young Salthawks. Love to see him getting lots of action. Jay, the quarterback for campus, went the whole way. He'll turn, pitch it on the outside. There's Buckles. He has the first down and more. Down the left sideline, picks up positive yardage with 2:02 to go in the third period of play. Hutch can't let up right now because there's a whole quarter and 2 minutes remaining.
Hutchinson has two different kinds of defenses that they run. Sometimes they go with a 3-man defensive front, call that Okie, and sometimes they go with the standard traditional defense with 4 defensive linemen. Tonight they're usually going with 4 defensive linemen because they expect campus to try to run the ball primarily.
Campus quarterback Jay gives off, no gain on the play, maybe a yard pickup. Whole host of Salthawk players in on the tackle.
Carter Young and David Waymeyer primarily.
And Ben Patterson comes in to help clean up as well.
Another campus Colt is on the turf with an injury.
Sure is.
That's a lineman.
Second down and 9 to go. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. 1:44 to go in this third period. An injury on the field as Hutch leads at 35-14. We'll be back in a half minute.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
Still an injury timeout, second down and 9 for campus. Campus trails. Hutchinson's on top 35-14. Campus with the football, though, and another player for campus looks to be a fairly serious injury. They're looking at that lower extremity on the right side.
Slayton Brown, who is a two-way starter for the Colts. He's a senior.
Salthawk defensively, and we talked already a little bit about Aaron Jefferson, but also Braden Rodriguez. He's a sophomore. He's getting some playing time out there, 6', 172, over that right side of the defensive line, doing a good job tonight. As are the whole, this Salthawk defense really has grown in to themselves this year, and I think they grew up a lot at Garden City. That's the second game of the season.
When you can win a few very close games and the defense is coming up with big game-changing stops in the fourth quarter, and plus, it's a defense that does have some maturity. They've got some terrific senior leadership on this Salthawk defense.
Yeah, you got Hobber out there.
Coach Scott Yanis is very pleased with that defensive unit. Best wishes to Coach Yanis' father, Dean.
Always listens in, yeah.
Up in North Dakota. Happy birthday earlier this week.
Second down and 9 for Jay, the quarterback of campus. Sends a man in motion. Turney keeps it himself around the left side, has some room. Has the first down all the way into Salthawk territory. He'll mark him right at the 50-yard line.
Nice downfield blocking, Dylan Sheeler.
Hutch needs to watch for that because Jay's the primarily running back other than Buckles back there to do something. And 1:22, clock moving along.
Would expect the fourth quarter to move fairly rapidly with both teams running the football primarily. 1 minute to play in the third quarter.
First and 10 for campus. Again to give, first man through, Buckles. Carries forward for a pickup of 4 yards. Second down and 6. Patterson comes in to help out with Waymeyer.
That Mays South Hayes game could be an important game as far as postseason
really could.
seedings go.
You and I kind of pointed to that one when we were talking the other day. Hayes undefeated on the season, having a great turnaround season from like Hutchinson is from last year. Keeper by Jays, pitches on the outside, catch is made, trying to turn it upfield, and nothing there, denied at the 41-yard line. Newquist comes to put a last-second hit on Dorton to make sure he was down.
That'll probably be the last play of the
It'll be
first
short
quarter.
of the first down by about a yard. You're correct. That is 5 seconds to go. They won't get another one off. We're going to go to the fourth quarter. Your score, Hutchinson 35, Campus 14. We'll be back in 1 minute.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Welcome back to Gowans Stadium. 35-14. Hutch is on top. Glenn Grumwald, Dan Nacarado. Joined in the booth by Sarah Peterson on the video stream. Special thanks to Stu Haddad back at the BW Studios for all the chief engineer work tonight. You're listening to Salthawk football on KWBW Hutchinson, Kansas. 3rd down and 9 remaining to go. Or 3rd and 1, for Campus. They'll snap it across and get it 1st and 10 picked up. 3 extra yards. Keeper by Jay will mark it right at the 39-yard line where his knee hits. So we're in the fourth quarter, Dan, and still 3 touchdown lead for Hutchinson. 35-14.
That Derby-Mays game also implications for postseason as Mays is undefeated. And Mays will be the opponent for Hutchinson next week right here at Gowans Stadium.
Back to passes, Jay wants to throw the football. He does. Ball broken up and just about picked off. Newquist got a hand on it, knocked it up in the air, and was hoping that Stephen Hunter would be able to come over and get a hold of it. Ends up being Hunter, and it will be an incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10.
I like the fact not only that Hutchinson has got this game pretty well under control here early in the fourth quarter, they're developing some depth, especially on that defensive line. We've been talking about some sophomores getting some action tonight.
2nd down and 10 for the Campus Colts. Give to Buckles, straight up the middle running. Pick up a 4 on the play, down to the 35-yard line.
Ben Patterson made the stop from his linebacker position.
3rd down, and we'll call it 6. Campus back in the huddle formation.
Ben Patterson's older brother, Josh, one of my favorite all-time Salthawks.
Campus had 2 games wiped out by the COVID-19 that hit Campus High School. 3rd down and 6. Back to passes, Jay. Goes long, has a receiver, but outstretched hands can't get to it. Incomplete pass.
You hear about play-action passes. That time the quarterback faked the handoff to one running back, faked it to another running back, and then took another step backwards and threw the ball deep. But there is a flag down in the backfield.
See what that indication is going to be.
Hutchinson has committed a roughing the passer penalty.
Sure did. So it'll be an automatic 1st down carried with it, and the ball taken all the way down to the 20-yard line. So Campus with good field position on the Hutch 20. Clock showing 10:49 to go in this 4th period of play. They'll break huddle. and have a long way to run once they found out that the penalty had been assessed.
Need a rest break on the way from the huddle to the line of scrimmage.
Colts, Jay, the quarterback. Turn, quick opener right up the middle. Hutchinson tugging at that ball, but carries it all the way to the 24-yard line. It was B. Buckles. So second down and short. We'll say 2nd and 4.
Second down 4. Ball 14-yard line.
Ball's right at the 14-yard line. Head coach for Hayesville. Again, a Hayesville campus. Coach Cruz, a very good friend of Mike Vernon's. Knew each other when he coached at Pratt and Mike coached at Nickerson. Man in motion. Jay, the quarterback, he's going to keep it straight up the middle. Has some room. All the way down to the Hutchinson 1-yard line. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown. A 14-yard run. Much of it on his own by Jay, the quarterback. Late flag on the play. Is coming at the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter of play.
That was an impressive 78-yard touchdown drive by the campus Colts.
Truly was.
With a couple of their key players sidelined with injuries.
So they will be setting up for the extra point. That foul will be against Hutchinson.
Exactly 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter.
Derby on top of Mays now, 35-26 in the fourth quarter of action. Kick is up and good. It makes your score 35-21. Hutchinson with the lead. 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of play. We'll be back for the Campus Colt kickoff when we return in a half minute.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Salthawks set to receive after the kickoff from Campus Colts. Impressive drive by the Campus Colts. 35-21 is your score.
Hutchinson better be prepared for a potential onside kick in this situation with Campus down 2 scores, 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and a penalty after the touchdown means Campus kicks the ball from Hutchinson's 45-yard line.
45. So you know they're probably going to squib it here. I would anyway. Try the onside possibly or squib.
There's a lot of open green space.
Sure is.
At about the 20-yard line.
See if they can pop it over that and they're going to kick it away.
That's a surprise.
It'll be a touchback.
Okay.
So Kokar will not have the opportunity to return. Hutch will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20. Good job by the defense, even though they gave up the score. Like you said, some different players getting a lot of playing time down there that's going to pay off in the future.
Especially given the fact that there won't be a JV game on Monday. Normally I would say, hey, the JV guys get their own game on Monday. That's their opportunity to get better. But without playing freshman and JV games, maybe the rest of the way, you like to see them get some action.
Thompson, the quarterback. Doobie, the center, gives it off again to McEwen. He bangs forward, pick up a 5. Positive yardage for McEwen. He's starting to get some good positive yards out there. What do you have coming into the fourth?
I've got McEwen with 120. I think McEwen's up to around 140 yards, 145 yards right now. Maybe close to 150.
9:36 to go. Clock moving away for Hutchinson. Southeast of Saline, fourth quarter leading Smoky Valley 53-8. Smith Center 34, El Saline nothing. Catch all the scores, by the way, with Nick Gosnell's BW scoreboard at 10 o'clock. Here to give, up the middle, here goes Barlow. Barlow all the way down to the 45-yard line. A nice run by Barlow inside of campus territory to the 45.
I just love what Jalen Barlow is doing for the Hutchinson Salthawks this season. He's an outstanding running back with the football in his own right, But to help the team pick up as many wins as possible, he's accepted the fact that most of the plays he's going to be a lead blocker this season. But when he gets his chance to carry the football, he's pretty exciting.
Wants to go into broadcasting. That's why we had him help with the JV game.
Hutchinson Community College has a fantastic program for that.
That he does.
Take some business classes along the line, too, Jalen.
Here's Thompson to give to McEwen. Quick opener across the 40 and more, all the way down to the 35-yard line of campus.
We truly appreciate all the support from Hutchinson Community College for Salthawks sports and broadcasts, one of our many terrific sponsors, and also like to see the encouragement Coach Drew Dallas and the Blue Dragon staff give to these Salthawk football players.
2nd down and 1 for Hutchinson. Ball's at the 36-yard line for campus. Barlow is set up in that left slot. Peterson split out wide on the right side.
No reason for Hutchinson to be in a hurry. They don't want to snap the ball with more than 5 seconds to play on the play clock.
Hogan split out wide on the left. Now Kokar comes up and sets in that last slot.
The play clock got down to 1 second.
Sure did.
So Coach Vernon took a timeout.
Timeout on the field. Your score was 7:46 to go in this fourth quarter of play. Hutch 35, Campus 21. We'll be back in a half minute.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Dr. Fan's H-Hawk flag is whistling in the wind because it's 12 miles per hour straight out of the south right now, kicked up from game time. Temperatures dipped to about 57 degrees, one of our colder evenings that we've had for Salthawk football. High tomorrow, 75, so enjoy your Saturday afternoon. I'm going to try to get some painting done, wrapped up. That's what I'm going to try to do. Want to come over and help me? That would be a no. Here comes the keeper by Thompson. Tears it upfield, up to the 30-yard line. Dances his way right at the 30, and they're going to mark him right at the 30-yard line. Moves the chains.
I just want you to stay off ladders.
I'm off the ladders now. I'm on a short little ladder. I tell you, I used to jump out of airplanes.
Do the kind of painting on canvas that you sign your name in the bottom right-hand corner.
I've got to do some of the cutting now. I've got the hard stuff done. I'm going to get out there and do some trim. Hutch moved the chains with that carry. 7:16 to go.
We had Jeff Wells from Advanced Pest Control blow insulation into our attic a couple weeks ago, and the temperature is not varying hardly at all at our house.
Thompson, the quarterback. The turn to give to McEwen again. Again, he picked up positive yards down to about the 26-yard line. So pretty well dial up. Give the ball to McEwen and let him take it down. They say a pickup of 3. They'll make it a 2nd down and 7 situation.
Hutchinson with over 450 yards of total offense tonight. Got to give a lot of credit to that Campus Colts offense, though. They've continued to compete all night long.
That they have. Thompson letting that play clock go down to 6, now to 5. He snaps the ball. Give away to McEwen. He's got some room at the 20 and tries to break a tackle. Does all the way and stretches down to the 16-yard line for the first down. And another player for Campus comes up a little lame on that outside as he juked after McEwen. Nice run by McEwen. Moves the chains, and it's a Salthawk first down with 6:04 to go. That player now has taken the knee. And they're going to come out and attend to him. Let's see, and they will huddle up on the sidelines. We're going to break in as well. 6:01 to go. Fourth quarter action. Hutchinson 35. Colts of Campus 21. Hutchinson driving. We'll be back in 1:30-second timeout.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, We've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
6:01 to go in the fourth quarter play. Glenn Grunwald, Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson along with you. Usually we have Joe Blake on the sidelines. He had a grandmother pass away. Our thoughts and prayers out to you and your family, Joe. He's usually brought to you by Jackson Meat at 13 West 6th. And again, it's Papa John's Pizza. Just give them a call and say, hey, Papa, I want a pizza. They're located at 17th and Plum.
I think the first time I ever saw Coach Jamie Cruz in action was right here at Gowans Stadium when Pratt played Sabetha in that 3A state championship game, and it went into overtime, and there was a 2-point conversion at the very end that could have gone either way, and it just ended up going
Sabetha's way, right? 43-42 was the final.
But it was one of those plays I went back and watched on film several times, and it was just so close you couldn't tell whether the player got in for the 2-point conversion or not on film. It was totally a judgment call by the officials, and Jamie Cruz was just that close to a state championship.
Player goes off under his own power, so Hutchinson now will get set 1st and 10 with 5:46 to go in his fourth quarter of play. They'll have the ball again at their own 17-yard line. Thompson looks to the sidelines. Now he gets set. Make sure everybody's set on the line, and here we go. 1st and 10, Hutchinson. Turn to give to McEwen, all the way again down to the 10-yard line. He is just pretty doggone amazing how many players he keeps on his back as he gets 3, 4, 5 extra yards. Pick up a 6.
Alec would definitely like to play some college football, and I'm sure that there are some college coaches that would love to have him.
Well, he's strong enough. He's going to grow more, probably put on some more strength. 2nd down and 4 for Hutchinson. Nose of the football at the 11. McEwen set up in fullback spot, 5 on his play clock. Thompson, the quarterback, the turn to give to McEwen. He angles to the right side, has some room, and he's going to bust into the end zone. Nope, they say he's short by just a yard. So they'll mark it right at the 1. I thought he got in there, but he elected his knee hit at the 1.
He definitely made a great effort to extend the ball beyond the goal line, but the officials felt like his knee was down at the time. This has been an 80-yard drive.
1st and goal from the 1.
Hutchinson started this drive on their own 20 after a touchback on the kick, and they've been eating up some clock along the way.
Wideouts right side, Hogan along with Peterson. 1st and goal from the 1, McEwen. Let's see if he gets the call. Thompson, the quarterback. The turn to give to McEwen. He's in for the end zone. He's in for the touchdown with 3:53 to go in his fourth quarter of play. 41-21. Hutchinson with the lead. And Carter Boo will come up with a point after. A couple other new faces. Rodriguez sprinting out to get into special teams formation.
McEwen is certainly familiar with the end zone. That's his 13th touchdown of the season.
Newquist out there to hold. Now, illegal procedure is going to be the call. They're going to mark it off 5 yards against Hutchinson.
That'll make it a little bit more of a challenge, but love the way Carter Boo punches that ball through. He just does it so effortlessly with no wasted movement.
Had so much success this year. I remember there was one game, it might have been the South game, he lost 2 in a row. They didn't get through, and then he got that streak going again. This one will be a little bit more tedious from 5 yards farther back.
Well within his range.
High snap, gets it down, kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And your score, with 3:53 remaining to go, in this fourth quarter of play. Hutchinson 42, Campus Colts 21. We'll be back with the Campus Colt kickoff coming your way right after this timeout.
The no fair sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Oh, some people could just pick scores. That's all I can say, right?
Did someone in this press box mention 42 to 21?
I think they did. Hey, score update. Carroll 49, Miege 28.
Say that score one more time.
Carroll 49, Miege 28.
Yeah, Bishop Carroll is...
Mays South 21, Hayes High 20, a final. So Hayes High was undefeated on the season, to go down defeat by 1.
Well, and the good news for Hutchinson, if Mays South and Hutchinson have the same record, Hutchinson defeated Mays South earlier this year.
Right here it is 42-21, Hutchinson with the lead. Here comes a kick taken short at the 25, straight up the field, go the Campus Colts up to about the 35-yard line. Stoppage play, they'll mark it at the 36 flag on the play. As the ball was returned, looked like might have been Martinez, one of the running backs on special teams, and the flag flies. Let's see who it's going to be against. Acts like it might be against the Salthawks. Let's double check it. Yes, it will be a hold against the Salthawks. Personal foul is going to be the call. So they'll mark off a big one, and they'll bring it all the way up. And they're going to mark it at the 49 of Hutchinson. Wow.
Did they mark that correctly?
Colts will start off 1st and 10 at the Salthawks.
They advanced it a long way on the penalty.
Did. Had to be from the spot of the infraction. So 1st and 10 for Campus at the Hutchinson 49-yard line with 3:47 to go in the game. Turn straight up the middle, Buckles. Pick up a couple yards on the play. Positive yardage to the 47-yard line. 2nd down, and we'll call it 8.
8-2 brings up the 2nd down at 8.
So gain of 2 on the play. Clock moving at the 3:27 mark. Some key players have been hurt in this game for Campus. One of them was Rico that went out. We saw him on crutches, and I believe he still is on crutches on the sideline. Reimer went out, his replacement as well.
And Leighton Brown.
Mm-hmm. Turn, it gives, straight away running. Buckles carries it forward up to the 42-yard line, thereabouts. It'll be a 3rd down and short situation for the Campus Colts. 3rd and 3. Hutchinson wholesale changes coming in for the Salthawks right now. Dakota Thompson returns into the lineup. Again, a special welcome from Devin Hackney to his grandmother, Sophie Hill, who's here from Pflugerville, Texas.
Pflugerville.
Pitch on the outside, trying to turn the corner and get the 1st down, and they will. That's going to be Campus. And positive yardage all the way. Dorton on the carry. Will move the chains. 1st and 10. They'll put it down right at the 35-yard line of Hutchinson. Dorton, a pretty good running back for a senior. Had some positive yards tonight. Hutchinson defense trying to strengthen up here a little bit with 2:27 to go in this 4th quarter of play. Campus 35 yards away from scoring. Garden Plain also a lead 55-17 over Belle Plaine. Back to pass is Jay. Arches it, throws a nice ball on the outside, incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 2:21 to go. Had a wide open player over there in Dorton. Goes incomplete.
Jacob Dorton came out of the backfield, and the Salthawks lost track of him. He was wide open, as you said, Glenn. Pass just a little bit out of reach.
Landon Dixon checks in now, wearing his number 32. He's a sophomore to Salthawks. He'll be back defensively. Hutchinson kind of making sure the home run doesn't get hit. Second down and 10 now for campus. Keeper Jay pitches outside, loose pitch. It's loose, finally picked up by, again, the campus Colts, and they're loose down to 10, down to the 5, down to the 4, and that lock finally stopped at the 1. No flags on the play. Usually you might get a hold from something like that happening.
Garrett Denning got a lucky hop as the ball was on the turf. He was running full speed, and the ball just bounced right back up into his hands in full stride, and he found some openings.
Most players would have went just to jump on the football, but it bounced up like you said, and he took it all the way to the 1 yard line. First and goal for campus from the 1, 1:48 to go. So who picked that perfect score is in jeopardy right now. The turn to give up the middle, touchdown campus. The Colts score with 1:37 to go. To make it 42-27. That was a nice run, like you said, on a ball that looked like it was going to trickle out of bounds or even be jumped on for a loss. With 1:36 to go in the ball game, campus scores on a 1 yard run.
Number 16 on the keeper.
Okay. That was Jay on the quarterback keeper. 42-27. Now the kick is up and on its way, and it is good. 42-28 is your score. Hutchinson on top with 1:36 to go. We await the campus kickoff coming up right after this.
Hutchinson High School Sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawks boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawks boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
1:36 to go in the ball game. Nice job by campus to not give up and take it down. Again, the ball was errantly pitched by Jay, and they were able to pick it up, take it all the way down to the 1 yard line. Then Jay took it in on his own for the TD. 42-38. They're going to fall to 1-4 on the year. Hutchinson's going to go to 6-1 on the year and have a big showdown with Mays next week.
First time the Salthawks have been 6-1 since 2016. Oh, the wind must be blowing a little bit.
I think it is.
Ball just blew off the tee.
Dodge City, fourth quarter score, leads Eisenhower 30-23. That one has been back and forth. Valley Center, a final over Ark City, 27-21.
Valley Center and Andover both ended up being better teams than a lot of people expected this year.
Onside kick gives it to Hutchinson. Good field position at the 48-yard line. So Hutch will have it at their own 48.
Hutchinson should be able to run out the clock with no difficulty as long as they hang on to the football.
So 1st and 10 Hutchinson from the 48 of Hutch.
Wouldn't expect campus to call any timeouts at this point since they're down
so
2
either.
scores.
They're down to 2 timeouts, but either will Hutchinson, I don't believe. Peterson split wide right. Twins on the top side. Give to McEwen. Trying to turn the edge again. The 50. Down to the 49-yard line. Pick up a 3 on the play.
Coaches just love players to hang on to the football in these type of end-of-game situations.
Another player down for campus. Defensive lineman down on a knee, and that'll stop play. Looks like it's going to be...
Is that Corbin?
Corbin Williams? I think it is.
Corbin Williams played a terrific game.
Yes, it is. He gets up, and he's okay. He'll get back right at it here.
He's been around the football all night long defensively.
So Hutch will play Mays next week. Haven't seen a Mays score pop back up there, but Derby was leading them late. We'll see if it pops back up again.
As a barn burner last week, Mays versus Mays South.
Wow.
Mays South was ahead by 2 scores pretty late in the game, and Mays found a way to come back and steal the victory.
If you're scoreboard watching, that should be a heck of a game between Hutchinson and Mays next week.
Very enticing matchup. we're looking forward to bringing all the action to you.
No doubt about it. 49-yard lines, the spot of the ball, the campus 49. Hutchinson just going to cover up. 55 seconds left to go. They'll get back. Kokar's going to make sure that nothing crazy happens. He's going to be back at about the 41. Clock moving down to 45. There's now 10 on the play clock, so it'll be about 32 seconds difference. Miles takes a knee, backs up, makes it a third down call, and that's pretty well going to do it.
That final score last week, Mays at Mays South. Mays ended up winning at 42-38.
Mays leads Derby right now 36-35 with 2 minutes to play. This one is a final. Hutchinson winning it 42-28 over Campus High. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, add up to the numbers, get set for the Medicine Shop post-game capsule, as well as the Medicine Shop Coaches Show coming your way in 2 minutes.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
It's time for the Medicine Shop post-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. It's a happy bunch of Salthawks as they head to the dressing room. And a nice win for the Salthawks tonight, 42-28. The Medicine Shop. I'll tell you what, it's getting time to check out your medication from your Part D if you're 65 and older. And also just to check out exactly what you need to have. Don't forget those flu shots. Rich Stone said, hey, we have the extra heavy dose. That's the HD. If you're 65 and over, that's what they recommend. A little more boost to your immune system. Don't forget the CBD oils. They have them in the gummies that are easy to digest and take as well. And also they have the roll-on variety of the CBD oils. They have the melatonin that helps you get a good night's sleep as well. Also, they even have some CBD oil capsules with caffeine in them that'll get you going in the morning if you have a hard time getting your giddy up to go. And that's the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main in Hutchinson, and where Hutchinson comes to shop at the Medicine Shop. Looking at the scoring for tonight, it was the first drawing blood was a 63-yard run by Campus, by Sicard from 63 yards out with 6:41 to go into first, made it 7-0 with the point after. Hutch answered with a Miles Thompson keeper from 7 yards out to make it 7-7 tie after the boo kick. And then right back by Anthony Blackwell from 5 yards out, scored it 14-7 was your final there. And then getting on the board for Campus was a 8-yard pass to Reimer from Jay, tied up at 14. That's where we were until the 14-second mark on a 50-yard touchdown catch by Peterson. He caught it at the 40 from 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, took it 40 yards for the touchdown to put us up 21-14. That is our Titan Home Services play of the week from Mr. Peterson as he took it to the end zone. You were thinking he's going to get out of bounds, but he was able to take it in for 6. And then Barlow tacked on a 3-yard run to make it 28-14 with the point after. Then a 13-yard pass to Peterson made it 35-14 with 4:44 to go in the third quarter play. Jay came back with 10 minutes in the third period of play, or fourth quarter play, on a 14-yard run to make it 35-20. The point after made it 21, and then Hutchinson on a 1-yard run by McEwen with 3:53 to go made it 42-21. Tacking on for Campus a 1-yard run by Jay to make it 42-28 is your final. What do you have for stats real quick when we get coaching here?
Hutchinson racked up 25 first downs tonight compared to only 17 for Campus. And according to the end of game time stats, just 3 yards shy of 500 yards total offense. 497 yards. Coach, when you're watching film, maybe you can find another 3 yards and get them over that 500-yard mark. 5 different Salthawks scored touchdowns tonight. Alec McEwen racked up another big night, 185 yards and a touchdown. Miles Thompson also over 100 yards, 107 on 10 rushes. He scored a touchdown. Jalen Barlow scored a touchdown. Anthony Blackwell scored his first touchdown as a Salthawk. And Trayton Peterson, 2 receiving touchdowns tonight and 110 yards receiving. We'll have to go back through the record book to find out when the last time a Hutchinson receiver caught over 100 yards in passes. On the defensive side, Mason Weathers collected 10 tackles. Ben Patterson, David Waymeyer, and Jack Hoover with 6 tackles apiece.
Good night for the Salthawks. They win at 42-28. Let's take a timeout and get coaching here. We'll be back right after this.
You've been listening to Hutchinson Salthawk Sports on VW Radio. Our broadcast was brought to you in part by Ashcraft Pharmacy, the Insurance Group, Pools Plus, and the Hutch CC Business Office. Salthawk Sports is also brought to you by the Salthawk Boosters, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Apple Lane Animal Hospital, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, William Thacker, and the Hutchinson Clinic. Stay tuned. Our Coaches Show is next on VW Radio. Get the latest news, weather, and sports in one place. HutchPost.com. It's your one-stop news source powered by Eagle Radio. Plus, play fun contests. Save with big deals of Central Kansas. Get the latest ag news, daily obituaries. Keep tabs on your favorite sports teams, including the Salthawks and Blue Dragons. And be sure to sign up for the Hutch Post Morning News in your inbox. 24 hours a day, get news when you want it at HutchPost.com. It's time for the Coaches Show on VW Radio. A look back at tonight's game and a peek into the next action. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Our chat with head coach is next after this timeout on KWVW.
The Medicine Shop, the Medicine Shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need delivered with speed, the lowest price guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the Medicine Shop.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Gowans Stadium. Glenn Grunwald along with Mike Vernon now. Congratulations, Coach. 6-1 on the year, a nice 42-28 win over the Campus Colts. Congratulations to you.
Thanks.
Guys put it all together out there. They jumped out on top after we had the fumble recovery that they took it right down the field and scored. And you talked to us the other day and said you're a little worried about Campus's offense, and you were correct. They had a good talent on the field for Campus. Hutchinson was able to just to move the ball when we needed to and got the big scores in the second half.
Yeah, we knew that with us playing them and the flex bone, we knew that our possessions were going to be far and few between, and we needed to capitalize when we did have the ball. And we talked about before the game about how, we need to make plays when we have the opportunity, and I thought the boys did that.
They did it in fine fashion as well, especially with time running down in the second quarter of play. You're able to get a nice pass play to Trayton Peterson. He caught it at the 40, which has been a 10-yard gain, and turned around, took it right up the field. Dan kind of thought, well, he can step out of bounds, but he took it right to the end zone.
Yeah, Trayton's he can be a heck of a football player, and he's a great athlete, and he's been biding his time, and been blocking for us and doing a lot of good stuff. And tonight, he got his number called a couple times, and he made the best of it.
Took advantage of the second half of play, did a good job there. By the way, Trayton tonight, Miles was 5 out of 12 for 123 yards. Trayton with 4 catches for 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest was a 50. That's a pretty good night for a receiver.
Yeah, and they were giving it to us, and with their scheme, and Miles and Trayton took advantage of it.
You look at Alec McEwen again, 28 carry, totes on the night, 185 yards, a TD. His longest was a 25er, average 6.6 carries. Miles Thompson with some good running. Angles to the right, and turns back and angles to the left. He picked up some good positive yardage. His longest was a 51-yard run by Miles Thompson.
That can't be right, by the way.
I don't know if it is or not. He did have one long one.
Right.
I think it is right.
Hey.
It was the serpentine run where he was going
He
back
kept
and
going
forth.
left and right and all the way down the field.
That's enough for that whatever anybody paid to get in this place. That was they got the money's worth on that one.
He was taking evasive maneuvers on that run.
That he was. So anyway, a good night by your offense. Defense looked strong as well. We noticed you were getting a lot of kids in there on defense that maybe don't get as many minutes. That's going to maybe help us in the future.
Yeah, we thought that the 4-man front would be the best solution for us, and that got us some young defensive linemen in there, and I thought that they did well. They were playing 6-tech for those old Salthawk football players out there. They got trapped a couple times, but I thought that they held their own when they needed to, and I'm proud of them.
Mike Vernon on a big win over the Colts tonight, 42-28. We're going to take a timeout, come back, and talk about Mays. That's our opponent for next week. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Welcome back. Chatting with Mike Vernon after a nice win by the Salthawks, 42-28, 6-1 on the Salthawks. Mays edged Derby, 36-35. Coach, that sets a big showdown coming up here at Gowans Stadium next week as the Mays Eagles come to town. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, the boys are really excited. I know the coaches are excited. It's just going to be a great time here at Gowans, and I don't think there's a better place than a big football game at Gowans Stadium in Hutchinson, Kansas.
By the way, I'm going to give you another score. Mays South beat Hayes 21-20 tonight.
Oh, there you go.
So there was another really good game of the week, so to speak, for. So it's going to be a lot of fun time here at Gowans. Now, sadly, we can't have our full group of fans here, but we can have, like we were tonight, with 2 tickets per participant. And, of course, we'll have it on the stream and on KWBW as well.
I tell you what, the parents did a great job tonight with their social distancing. I mean, they were policing themselves out there, and, there wasn't anybody within,
They did what they were supposed to do.
Breathing distance, I think you'd say.
Doing what they're supposed to do. We're going to let you go. We appreciate it very much. As we've had a great broadcast, 42-28. Nice win tonight.
Thank you.
We're going to take one more time out, Dan, and I'll come back and wrap things up.
You've been listening to The Coaches Show on BW Radio. The Coaches Show has been brought to you by the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main. Thanks for listening to Salt Talk Sports on KWBW Radio, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Coach Nack, a nice night tonight for the Salthawks. And, again, we're so glad that Sophie Hill was able to make it here and see her grandson. She'd more than likely, I imagine, Devin's getting dressed up pretty quick. He did not know she was here.
Well, that's fantastic. Hey, Salthawk fans, Hutchinson is 6-1
yes,
and in the hunt for a league championship. And it has worked out great because Mays is now 7-0, Hutchinson 6-1. Hutchinson's destiny is in their own hands.
It sure is. It sure is. So be sure and tune in next week and, again, catch all the action. Well, go to the Facebook page. I usually put up highlights from this game, which will be on Hutch Salthawk Sports Facebook page. And you can catch all the action, and we'll have those up for you at least by probably Sunday or so. And there's a lot of highlights to pull for tonight. So special thanks to Sarah Peterson, as always, doing a great job on the camera work. Joe Blake was not on the sidelines. He's usually sponsored by, again, Jackson Meat, as well as also brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. My good friend Dan Nacarado, as always, helping out. Special thanks to D'Angelo Green for stopping by at halftime, and also special thanks to Coach Vernon for stopping by to chat about this. We'll be back next week. Looking forward to it. Should be fun. Looking for another Salt Hawk victory. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks, Stuart Haddon, doing a great job. The chief engineer work back at BW Studios. We'll talk to you next week again for the Salt Hawk pregame show at 6:30 for the game versus May. So long, everybody.